Hello, everyone! Welcome to the Ordeals of Livistio. Man, I have this ingrained within me where I say the God War. Oh.
Not fighting gods, right?
Not yet. We're not at that level just yet, Red, but I love the ambition. Guys, welcome, one and all. Say hello, facilitators. Party, retinue...
Hello, facilitators.
Hello, facilitators.
Hello.
Thank you. Wow.
I like facilitators. I dig it.
You dig it?
I like it.
Well, okay. That's what we're going with from now on. We are the
We
facilitators.
facilitate the king.
Get ready to get facilitate.
Really gonna confuse the goblins.
Good.
We're gonna
We-
facilitate a good time for you.
Are going to go around the table, and we're going to say what we did this week. We're not going to introduce our characters. By now, all of you know who each other are, and if not, you can watch the VODs. Why aren't you watching the VODs, guys? I need to get those streamer numbers up! Jeff, how was your week?
It's been good. It's been good. Just to be sure, we're talking about our actual weeks, right? Not the characters' weeks. Yeah.
How was your week?
It's been good.
You.
Good. It's been nice. I went back to work. I actually work in an escape room, and I get to scare people for a living, so that's nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Unless when I get my head slammed in the door.
Oh
Because
god.
people have weird scare reflexes, but that's alright. That's part of the job. I signed for it.
Do you have, like, special health insurance you need to sign in case one guy literally attacks you? Or, like, what's up with that?
I do.
Oh, man.
I gotta say,
Yeah.
I would be one of those people. Like, I specifically don't go to haunted houses because I would attack the actors. Like, if they scared me bad enough.
I don't mind a little push. Like it's okay if you just push me a bit because you're frightened. When I just see a player that just raises punch, his hands like this,
Fight or
just
flight, baby. Fight or flight.
ready to throw it, I'm just like,
Yeah. I was at a
maybe I
haunted
should
house.
back
They had
up.
that one of those scary clowns like came running at me. I kicked him in the chest and I was kicked out. I was like, I don't know what you guys wanted me to do here. He was coming for me. This was real.
Yeah. Diggy, how was your week?
It was great. My superhero game, 3 players have not shown up in a very long time,
man.
which is sort of fine because it was a 6-player game, but now we recruited 1 more player, so it's theoretically a 7-player game, but come on, one of them hasn't even shown up since the first session. It's a 4-player game now.
You know, 4 is a good number, but there's nothing wrong with having 6 players, right, guys? Right? Rue, how was your week?
Good. Made lots of money. Bought lots of coins. It was a good week.
Very cool. I hear you've been diving because we talked about it in the pre-show. How are you enjoying Helldivers?
I'm greatly enjoying Helldivers. I have missed too much sleep this week because of it. I bought the game for an old friend of mine yesterday, so we just played for like 5 hours.
Oh my god. Have you just started today?
No, I've had it for like a week.
Yeah, but then all the server dramatics happened, right?
It's a lot different with other Helldivers, that's for sure.
Yeah, sure is. Red, how was your week, man?
My dogs are going insane.
For the entire
So-
week?
Well, yeah, no, of course it's the entire week. I did a lot of things. I usually have a very busy doing a bunch of different random things. I made beef jerky from scratch. If you don't include killing a cow part into that. I, of course, do a bunch of homework. Just a lot of random things. Spent 3 hours making a banner
Oh, yeah?
on MS Paint.
Yeah. Oh, well, I like the banner. I think you did... I hope you did better with the jerky, though, in real... Oh,
No, the jerky is delicious. It came out perfectly fine.
I'm happy to hear it. Greg, how was your week, man?
My week was all right. I played a lot of Hearthstone on the, time that I had free. Did a lot of work as usual because, that's what we do this time of year. Just too much of it. I started lifting with a buddy of mine. He needed a spotter, so I have agreed to join him and do some weights, which is good. I've gotten out of the habit, but all in all, pretty low key week.
All right. Well, I'm glad to hear you're lifting again. I'm also glad to hear you're busy again. It is, well, for those of you who don't know, I think Greg is a taxman, and he is the part of the state problem. No, okay. I'm not going to go into my IRS rant.
I'm definitely part of the problem. Yes, true facts.
So he's the man that we need to take down. That's what I'm hearing.
I love bureaucracy.
Definitely me and not anyone else.
No one else, just Greg.
True.
I have definitely paid my taxes, okay?
You shouldn't have paid anything. You're a student.
Ignore the letter you're getting in a few days.
Henrietta, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Doing adult stuff like moving and finding places to live and other fun, great adult things like giving people lots of money so they can live under a roof.
Yeah. Okay, well.
We also have parent-teacher conferences coming up, which I don't know if anyone knows this, but the parents of preschoolers in particular, unless they have older siblings, are some of the craziest ones. Because they're just discovering that the little people they gave birth to are in fact little independent people. Sometimes it's hard to hear that. Sometimes it's hard to be the one to say that.
I bet. honestly.
Sorry, your child's not perfect. It's okay.
Well, okay. I think I bought everyone enough time to wrap up any sort of things that they're doing in a different program right now. So I'm going to ask, who wants to do our recap for this episode? What happened last week, guys? Anyone? Any volunteers? Diggy, is that a
After the
hand
last one, like,
raised
nothing
to
we're ever gonna
volunteer
do is-
yourself?
No, I did it last week.
No, you didn't? What?
You did not do it last week.
Did I do the week before? I know I did it once.
You're just bold-faced lying. Greg's done it every time.
No, I'm bold-faced being an idiot. There's a difference.
That's really funny. Sure. Would you like a recap?
I would
I
love
will.
a recap.
I
Oh,
will
man.
recap us. So we
If you want, we can do a
began.
Beyonce special instead.
We began last session after the heroic fall of your prince, with a like kind of flashback or forward to the thoughts and feelings of everyone in the moments leading up to it. We saw everyone's complete and utter, dismay and horror at the fact their prince may not survive, and many tears were shed. It was a tragic moment, but we moved past it, and the prince was okay because of some magic. And we began investigating the tent of these bandits. We found a table in the center with a charcoal map of Livistio. And underneath the map was an unsealed scroll containing simple orders for the bandits to enter Livistio, and stir up monster encounters, so that the new settlements would be delayed as much as possible. The orders were not signed, nor was there a seal on them. This is very suspicious to us, and we began to hightail it out of there as soon as we were done sniffing around. However, Sneferu had some outside of the tent looking around, I believe. He found a religious symbol of steel. It is iron banded and horseshoe-like, and kind of bent in the shape of a heart. We don't recognize exactly what it's from, but this could be the clue we need to figure out what's going on. After that, we set the tent on fire, burned everything that we could, and hightailed it through the forest to try to avoid the heavily armored contingent of the bandits that had been marching down the road looking for us. There was a tense run through the night using our combined half-elven night vision to avoid our possible pursuers, and we arrived at camp, the like settlement camp that we started our adventure from. Here we spent a cold night huddled up together as we didn't want to alert the bandits with the possible smoke of the fire. And the next morning, easily marched our way back to the castle with knowledge of bandits, a prisoner, gold, and some returned steel, bent pipes and shovels and whatnot. We found a strange creature covered in scales, with 4 eyes, begging to be let into the city itself. We decided that this crazy thing was just the type of dangerous that the party needed. And so our prince quickly scooped him up, telling the priests that he would look after him, and basically forcibly recruited him into the party. With that, we sent the prisoner to the dungeon and announced ourselves to the royal court. It was a stunning display of, ancient tradition, screaming in a high-pitched voice and interrupting all present to make sure the prince was announced, as he should be, ahead of any, politics or, important things going on. From there, we had a strange debriefing in which we told the court what was happening, gave the letter over to the Master of Whispers, and then were told to take a break and have a little tiny conversation with the king by ourselves, what our party members did who knows what off on their own. I'm assuming they got into fights with the the servant that was maybe disrespectful to me from the Lord of Agriculture, and showed the new Dragonborn around, but who knows what they were up to. And then we had a chat with the king, let me sit in on the court. And we ended the day raiding the larder, as is our normal wont, cheersing each other on job well accomplished, cheering a new member to the party, and making plans to become the greatest mercenary company the world has ever known.
Yes. Well, we sort of start our adventure a little bit after those plans have taken place, because let's be real, once you guys bust into the larder, start opening kegs, start drinking wine, the productivity of such affairs is going to immediately plummet, undoubtedly because Felix is bragging about his many war stories that you have now personally seen. It is currently the 17th of January. You guys are either outside a tailor shop, having just submitted your designs to get your heraldic banner actually put into place so that next time you go out you can leave, or you're somewhere else, in which case tell me, where are you guys?
I think we are exactly that. I think that we kind of zoomed out of our last, session as the prince was like, so, about that banner. And now you see the party marching to, like, the royal seamstress with, like, a hand-sketched thing with notes all over the side of it. And somewhere where Yancey has just scratched out everyone else's work and, like, made her own bear, like, crown. But on the back of it is our finished product, with a unicorn bowing to a crown on a green field, a blue sky, and a magenta outline. Both the colors of the Royal Marchette dynasty, the colors of my mother, the queen, and the strange elven lands that she comes from, as well as a hopefully pretentious and maybe a little rabble-rousing unicorn bowing to our crown. We spent many hours long into the night discussing this, and this will be our mercenaries' banner.
Okay.
Pick us a party to choose.
On a meta level, I really do appreciate that Red, our player Red, spent like 3 hours in MS Paint making this, and now Greg has co-opted it. Like, 1, it's mine. 2, we did it together. And 3, who is this guy?
Also,
things that the retinue do for the prince are the prince's things, are they not?
It's true. Magenta is not a real color, exactly. Oh my god. The person who caught it.
Diggy also did make sure that the colors looked a lot nicer than what I did, because mine were just very bright and brash against the eyes.
Yeah, I did do, and it was incredibly difficult and arduous work. I had to, select the magic wand tool and select everything.
Wow.
And you shift it slightly. It was arduous.
So much work.
John, do we have the
We're
ability to
unappreciated
put
here.
the banner on screen?
Yes, it is actually
it
on screen. However, it's super small.
Zoom in.
Because I have made it your guys' party sheet icon. Wherever you go.
Oh,
this is...
There it is on the map.
Oh,
Holy moly.
it's
Yeah.
so fucking tiny.
Yeah, I
it
like
was
this
quite
thing a lot.
tiny. But we have it.
Yeah.
It is now above your character token.
Sick.
As you
Like
all
it.
have now completed your obligation of accompanying the prince into this tailor shop, putting in the application and giving them the design and explaining the intricacies that you demand of this. This poor heraldic tailor is like, I don't know how I'm gonna make magenta, but I'll figure something out. And as you all step outside...
That is the real issue here.
As you all step
invented a new
outside...
fucking color, like...
Your days are presumably free now. You all have gone on a little adventure. Prince, are you dismissing your retinue so that they can go see to their private lives?
I believe so, yes. The prince was very adamant that this piece of business be done, but the prince is very pleased with his crest that has been made. And so everyone is dismissed to go see their own tales spun.
Wow, thanks.
Then I ask, party, who do we focus on first? Someone be brave. Please be brave. Show me courage.
I feel like Yancey should be last because he's gonna be involved in everyone's shit. Just
I'll
like,
go. I'll
feel
do
free
it.
to throw me into whatever stories you guys come up with. Like,
I'll
if
bear
you
the
want.
burden.
Yeah. Yancey's always down to hang.
I'm gonna call on someone in 3 seconds if someone doesn't say anything.
I think Diggy volunteered.
Diggy volunteer.
I didn't hear him. I'm so sorry.
Attention.
I
not
am
supposed to hear
apparently
correctly.
below the radar.
It's true.
Have you
The
tuned me
makes
out
you-
that
yeah.
much, oh lovely benevolent G-man?
You're too stealthy, that's the thing.
I'm
That's
too
what makes
stealthy.
you a good rogue.
Yeah.
You know what?
Eluva Hito, we focus our camera on you as you split off from the rest of these freakazoids. These people who are ruining your life actively and calling you an evil sociopath murderer.
Yeah.
A lot of words.
Terrible accusations. Terrible accusations.
Do you call on
And we
one of them to
focus-
follow you? Go about your daily life?
No, they can stay behind. I'm perfectly content to have them stay behind.
Okay. Where does Eluva Hito go? How do they relax and start their downtime?
I think we see her sort of heading down into the city proper. Because there is something that is very special about the kingdom of Livistio. In terms of all of these cities in the world, all the nations in the world, there is a certain religious order that has a very strong presence, at least in the slums and in the sort of outskirts of the main city that I definitely am able to read the name of.
Livistone.
Livistone. Thank you. And she is going to be heading into a sort of not quite back alleyway, but a nice little like secluded area. And she is going to be making contact with the rest of her order, the Order of the Silent Moon. This is the religious order that she is a part of. This is the group that she is a part of. And she got kicked out of her whole country for being a part of them, so gotta make it count, you know? Can't get kicked out for nothing.
I suppose that is true. What is the Order of the Silent Moon most known for? Or revered about?
The Order of the Silent Moon are, as the name might suggest, moon worshippers. And in particular, they focus their pantheon on sort of protection and sort of but like protection of the downtrodden and sort of emboldenment of people who maybe aren't the most fortunate. So, you know, next time you want to call her evil,
Call her a lunatic instead.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
call her
No.
lunatic. Exactly. Exactly.
You're known as lunatics? Is that what we're officially
I,
going
I
with?
love that idea.
I mean, most progressives get labeled that way by, other people and fundamentalist powers. So yeah, sounds about
Yeah.
right.
I feel like outsiders might call us lunatics.
Hmm.
That's certainly not what we refer to ourselves as.
Yeah, you guys are lunatics. It's very, very similar. Very easy to mistake.
Well, as you go to make contact with these people,
That was
this
a good pun.
organization, tell me, I'm trying to lead this in to either figure out some sort of moon joke or some other thing, but what is it that Eluva does specifically with them? Are you not just a member, but like an agent being given out orders? Is the infiltration of this country's court a task they gave you? What is your true relationship with them?
She considers herself a protector of these people. And this isn't a task that was given to her, but one she more decided upon herself. Maybe even against some of the council of the order itself. Because these people need to be protected, and she needs the power to do it. And if they just want to sit there and pray, that's fine. But sometimes the world isn't that pretty and things have to get done, and she has taken it upon herself to do those things.
I see.
That is her relationship with these people. That is her motive.
I getcha. Okay. You will spend most of your downtime hanging out with these people, getting to know their plights, solving small tasks that they present you, acting as their protector from all the other ruffians who might predate on them within this city. For although Livistone is not the most dangerous cities in the world, let alone this continent, there still is a seedy underbelly. And let's be real, nobody wants to just get the attention of the bear mafia, or the leather workers and hunters who all work to sell and control the market of bear pelts. Those guys, ugh, they're criminals, honestly. Who wishes to go next? Out of curiosity. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
We will
Catch the
dice
tiger.
or something.
Felix?
Yeah, shit.
What does Felix do in his downtime? What does relaxation look like for him?
Well, relaxation is maybe not what we expect from him. Because he is kind of a show off. He likes to be seen, he likes to be appreciated, and he likes to show his skills. His skills mainly being using the sword. But on his downtimes, he like to appreciate the town in itself, just walking around, being a low class as he is, because even though he's around the prince, he is no noble, he is no official, he is the champion. That's about it. So, as a low class citizen of Livistio, Felix likes to just walk among the people, maybe strike a conversation or two, just making sure the legend is still alive, you know, but in a more social way than in an active way.
Well, undoubtedly, you are very recognizable here in the majority human settlement. You, a flamboyant and flashily dressed tiefling, who walks around with a rapier on his side. Undoubtedly, people see you and they either... It has to be a mixed result, right? Of people randomly like, oh, it's the people's champion or the crown prince's champion. Making fun of your common lineage while also hyping you up. The fact that they're calling you a champion, let's be real, that's pretty sick.
That's all I need.
Other people are a little bit more catcally for you. Of like, look at those horns! Look at that tail! Being all, well, you can take that as complimentary or insulting, I suppose.
Yeah, I'll brush it off.
You brush it
just,
off coolly.
I'll focus on the good people. And yeah, if I can strike a conversation or two with maybe a merchant or something, I'll just say, oh, and you should have seen we were on a quest to retrieve the tools of the brave, hard-working citizen of Livistio, and just rant on how it was a major bloody battle, and there was like a huge hairy creature. No, there was two.
This random like cheese peddler you find
yeah
is so impressed with your story. One, that you're telling him. Two, that he absolutely believes you. And three, like, wow, I didn't realize our country was in such dire financial straits to deploy the crown prince to get tools back from monsters. That's insane. You're doing all of the gods' works, Felix. And then he hands you like a wedge of just the grossest cheese. The most moldy thing that he can just pawn off to you.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Does Felix go anywhere? Is there any place in this city that is kind of just his? Maybe not like fully private, but like a place he regularly goes, where he is 100% accepted at?
I'm thinking maybe the... I don't want it to be too cheesy, you know, but I feel like having his background, he would try to go and see if there is maybe an orphanage or something. Just you know, putting some happiness in the little kids' lives, because he does come from this type of heritage too. So
yeah. Being an orphan yourself, having been essentially abandoned and raised on the charity of good-natured people, you spread that belief forward. You pay it forward in a way, helping others. Maybe even giving some free swords lessons to some aspiring youths who really probably shouldn't be messing with swords.
I can just see him just knocking on the door of the orphanage with like a dozen wooden swords under his arms, and it's just the person opening the door just, you again.
Oh, we still burn off their energy. Come on in. Oh, it's a battle as soon as you drop the first one. Okay. We will jump to our next person, whoever wishes to go to start their downtime.
By not going, you are admitting that you're not as ballsy as me.
True. Alright, it's either Rube or Red. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Who's it gonna be?
I'll go.
Flip for it. Oh, you can go.
Alright, Red.
I will make you flip for it. Yeah,
No,
so I mean...
I've called you. Red, what does Dizem get up to?
Dizem's in a town he's never been in before. Has no clue about anything here. But I think I have like a rough idea of what hopefully is in this town.
I
Mainly,
feel
I gotta
like
go.
the Crown Prince understands that you are like new in town. I think you have like a grand tour of everything the Crown Prince knows, which is largely just the palace, right?
Was this during our like drunken stupor where you?
No, like I'll like
alcohol.
let everyone else walk away from me, but I'm like, we're going around town. So I just take you to the 4 places I know, right? But I am trying to show you around the city for sure. I'm like, this is the chicken coop. I'm sure the peasants use it. This is the palace. Right.
It goes from chicken coop from some random farmer's house.
It's what I can see through my window.
I've wanted to go here for years.
Yeah. But you have like a tag along for as much as you want to like sightsee with you for sure.
I need to go buy medical supplies or herbs. I need to buy medicine.
I have great news for you then, because you are going to explore this town and undoubtedly find Aunt Bethany's Brilliant Blight, who sells all sorts of herbs, specifically
Fucking
related
love
to
Aunt Bethany.
poisons, venoms, and insecticides. Whatever sort of verminous creature you can find, she has the answer to immediately kill.
Got it. Does she sell anything that doesn't kill people, or kind of does the opposite of death?
What is an antidote, if not just lesser poison, Dysum? Any medicinal practitioner
antidote?
would know the 4 humors of your body of what? Pus, blood, bile, and phlegm? What? You have to balance them all out. And poisons are a great way of doing that.
Yep.
I don't remember the 4 humors, but it was a medicinal.
You're pretty close. You were
pretty
very
close.
close to all of them.
Maybe there's like a black bile in there or something. There's like 2
Yeah,
different
there might-
types of bile.
Well, there is 2 colors of biles that they believe in, but that's
Oh,
a
shit.
whole nother topic.
Yeah.
That's not a topic we're getting into.
Sounds good. Let's not get into it. They have all sorts of ingredients for many a remedy here, Dysum. However, she is, in particular, sells mostly controlled amounts where a layperson or a peasant can come up with a rat infestation and be like, I need to poison a bunch of rats. And she'll be like, how many do you think? And then let's upscale from there. But you are essentially just needing to downscale, which means she's got all the good stuff you need.
Then I'm just gonna basically buy an assortment of non-poisonous objects, or at least things that I can turn into at least some sort of healing thing after a bunch of boiling with other things inside of a pot, so it doesn't kill people anymore.
You will go about doing that. And undoubtedly, do you have an alchemist kit?
I don't have I need to get an alchemist kit. I
Need
mostly
to
just
get-
have medicine.
Well, you should go and buy one then, and add it to your character sheet. And then, when you return to the castle as a new member of the facilitating retinue, you will set up your alchemist kit, get to work, bust out a small little potion cauldron, and undoubtedly stink up the place, because burning semi-poisonous plants is gonna stink like all hell, man.
Yeah, but Dysum already smells like the ocean, so it's fine. Like, how much worse could it be?
A lot worse. It can be a lot worse.
A lot.
Yet it's not.
Just casually burning skunk weed for fun.
As one does. God.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
fun.
Why you judge him?
Dyson begins his remedies, and I'm just gonna say we're gonna knock out our left column of cameras and focus on Snefru.
Okay. So once he's been dismissed by the prince, Snefru would go and do arcane preparations. His initial focus would be to summon a familiar, so he needs to get some supplies. He needs to find a brazier, not a brazier, a brazier. Let me actually, I'll post the spell.
Is it made of bronze?
Brass.
Is it brass?
Made of bras.
That too.
In a brass brazier with some charcoal, incense, and herbs.
Yeah.
And it's going to take him an hour. So he spends the day looking for all the equipment he'll need for that, and hold the ritual at night at the witching hour, or whatever time you would hold a ritual for a familiar summoning. Deep in the security and privacy of his quarters.
Yeah.
That would be his initial focus, and with other time he would focus on maybe adding a spell to his spell book.
Well, before that, let's talk about your familiar. What does it manifest as? You kind of... So there are two ways that D&D kind of lets me treat familiars as a DM. One is, it is a thoughtful being from like an extra planner thing or area that is like semi-demonic in nature, or at least arcane in nature. Or there's the alternative of it's quite literally a drone camera and you have entire control over it, and it is a magical puppet that you marionette to see through and sort of suicide into traps, which is how most of my players have treated Find Familiar.
I've always preferred the first choice, where you actually have to like make a pact with this spirit, and you can't make it jump into harm's way. Though again, it's incorporeal mostly. It's not going to really die, but I like the idea of it actually being a living, breathing familiar.
I do
that makes
too.
sense.
We can hand wave it for now if you would like, or we could, in fact, make you a living, breathing familiar. In which case, I would ask, are you drawing this spirit out from the nature around you? Have you already made pact with one from your homeland or in Brimland? Is this?
I think every Brimish wizard makes an early familiar pact, so he's just calling his own familiar. And sometimes he shows up in, they show up in different forms.
Okay.
I think that makes sense.
I think it does too. What is their name, or have a name the next time you call upon it?
Their name is... give me 1 second.
You're good. It's a goldfish. I read the chat. Just a fucking fish in a bowl just hanging out.
Ruff the crime dog.
You just pick it up and throw it when you need to see through it. Sad that would be.
Stop flopping for a second.
It has 3 whole like sort of indentations like a bowling ball. Just
Yeah.
That means it has to be a blowfish, right? So that we can get bowling ball shape.
Yeah.
absolutely.
That's actually sound cool.
Its name will be Tove.
Oh, like Toav?
That's a better spelling than I was going for.
Okay. And
I
it's,
go ahead.
Its nature. Is it neutral? Is it fayish? Is it demonic? Is it one of the rare celestial kinds? What kind of origination does this thing have?
I think with Snefru's nature, I think Fae makes more sense.
Okay.
They're safer to call on a Fey spirit than one of those other options.
You know, most of the time.
Most of the time.
Unless they kidnap your child for whatever reason and switch him out with the changeling.
I've never heard that one before.
What? No, okay. Moving on. What else does Sneffer do with his time other than summoning a familiar?
He would probably look to make himself more ready because he knows great ambitions are at foot. And wizards are great and powerful and scary if they are prepared.
That is very much the case.
So he'll look to work on adding a new spell to his spell book.
Which spell are you trying to add to your spell book?
Well, with my budget right now, I can only afford a level 1 spell. So something, I would guess offensive, because he has a lot of utility spells right now.
Okay. Are you looking
Beyonce's
for...
really good at offensive. Have you worked with her?
Absolutely.
Are you looking for suggestions? Can I help you in some way to help with that decision?
Typically, my experience is he would have to find a spell scroll and copy it, or work on the spell, and either way it would take 2 hours and 50 gold. But you have to work with your DM to see what spells he'd let you get. Magic Missile or Ice Knife would be pretty cool.
I getcha. Then I wish to introduce a new character to you, specifically from a certain store known as the Seneschal's Scriptorium.
How do you spell that?
I will copy and paste it here in a moment. Ugh.
Got it.
As soon as I can regain control of my mouse. What is happening? There you are. Boop. Boop. There you go. The owner of which, named Marco Brannock, let's call him a strange man, is essentially a officer of the court who has sold his position for money so that he can sit down in his little scriptorium and play occultist, researcher, and honestly, just likes reading. He's kind of a shut-in, kind of a loser, doesn't really go out or talk with anyone, and the most he does is help the illiterate read. And that is kind of his profession. He also drafts letters for people, but he has an insane bookshop that goes beyond common fascination. You know, you might find a nobleman who has a small little library of handwritten books, but this dude has gone around the entire Livistio countryside collecting as many as he can. Including scrolls. And when you ask about any scrolls of Magic Missile Ice Knife, he will... You know about the Magic Missile spell? The best spell in the entire world?
Oh, it's a fascinating spell. I've never cared to try to learn it before, but it will be necessary in the near future. Like always, Marco.
Never misses. Can you believe that? A spell which always hits. It's insane.
It's insane that I didn't focus on studying it earlier.
Wait, do you practice
never too late.
Magic?
Yes, and he points to his hat.
Oh my goodness, you have a hat too! What does that signify?
I am the royally appointed to the Crown Prince of from Brimland.
They give a special hat for that?
Yes, and you get an even better hat if you are more powerful. This is true.
You have changed my worldview, good sir. I will gladly sell you this spell scroll of magic missile. I forget how much magic missile spell scrolls cost. And I have to go look up spell scrolls now.
I think you
I
should
have
get
so many-
a special hat discount.
Of course he has a special hat discount. Who are you? She just sees Yonsei in the shadows and quickly fades away. Oh, a ghost!
I imagine Yonsei is that like one character from the Sickos meme in the glass, just like at all times. Like, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
They just flit from like scene to scene in the background. Yes.
I love her all alone, freezing because she's not allowed to sleep with the rest of you.
Yes.
Yes, freeze.
Alright, Sniffer, all the advice I'm seeing is that a spell scroll roughly takes 100 gold to make per level. I'm not sure if that's actually the case or not, because I'm not going to pull out my DMG and see if that's the case. But he will make you a deal. He will sell this scroll to you for 75 gold if you can make him a coned hat. It doesn't need to be as glamorous as yours, but he desperately wants a special hat to signify his fascination with magic, even though he's completely mundane.
Oh yes, that would not be hard to do at all. I have my old one, but it's going to be too small for you. But I can definitely make it work.
Bring me a hat and the scroll is yours.
So he has to run little legs, run back to his quarters and dust off his apprentice hat.
You get your little coned hat that has like not
Your
even
hat's,
an
like,
inch
flopping
worth of
along
brim.
with you.
It almost looks like one of those old dunce caps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, once you have
But he,
made him a silly little hat, you will exchange money for his spell scroll. And then, hopefully, you have enough budget to copy it down into your spell book.
No, but at least I'll have it, so I'll be able to work on that in the future.
Shit.
Important part is getting it.
Very true. I'm
But
sure
I
the
got my
prince of
familiar.
a country can loan you 25 gold to...
Damn, if only.
Surely! And speaking of the prince of a country...
Are you asking if like me, Glynis, has 25 gold on my character sheet I can loan him? Because that is not the case.
I can lend you some gold if you
Who
want.
here
like,
has more than
Beyonce
25
can
gold?
loan you some gold.
I
I
don't
can
know
loan gold.
what funds I have access to as like the prince of a country beyond what's on my character sheet, but what's on my character sheet is 16 gold pieces.
Why you broke, man? Damn.
Why is the crown prince like poorer than a homeless dragonborn?
Need to carry money with him. He can
Yeah,
tell people
People
what to
just kinda
do.
Give him things. He could have shown up at this shop, demanded the scroll, and like.
Yeah, be
After-
a tyrant.
After buying the
Yeah.
scroll, I now have the exact same amount of gold as the prince.
Damn.
Perfect. Hell yeah.
It's
Equal
always
footing.
okay to ask for handouts.
Would you
Um,
like some gold as a fellow foreigner?
We will get to money later.
We'll get to it later.
Besides, members of the retinue, you do have access to a little bit of a slush fund, which I haven't gotten to yet mechanically. Which is going to be paid out at the, it could be the middle of the month, it could be the first of the month, it could be the end of the month, who knows? You get a little stipend for being friends with Glynis. Isn't that nice? Speaking of Glynis Marchette, crown prince to the kingdom of Livistio.
Are we through our retinue?
We haven't done
If you
Yonsei.
want to go last, sure.
I
Henrietta
would
asked to be
prefer
last.
to go last, I think, based on the way these have been going.
Very well. In fact, we'll do a camera switch up. That way I can really pit you against the rest of the... Yonsei,
Yonsei's
Yos.
here, baby.
what do you do for fun?
Well, no one apparently wanted to hang out with Yonsei.
Got ditched.
So alone, dejected, and abandoned to their own, their own schedule, which doesn't know what to do with themselves if they don't have an audience. So they go out and find one. Yonsei's usual life outside of hanging out with the prince is going to bars, gambling probably, drinking a lot, coming up with new jokes and just telling it to people, like just seeing how it goes, And sometimes
I also want to point out that
bad.
Yonsei's favorite joke canonically is faking their own death. So I imagine they go up to strangers and just croak in various ways.
That's
and see
Johan's
what the
favorite
reaction
thing.
is.
All right, Yonsei's trying to spread their wings a little, okay, and discover other ways to
That's
make
old
people.
hat.
Yeah, that's
Other
old
ways to
hat.
fake
All
it
right,
out.
Yonsei's the future. Okay?
All right.
The future of comedy.
The future of comedy is trying to get stand-up comedy to become a thing, is what Yonsei is
Oh
doing.
God, no.
Yes.
It's just
Bad time,
observationals.
Yeah.
Good
What's
God.
the deal with
When he gets
Sproul?
really drunk, like they stand up on a table and like will play their own music whenever they tell a joke, like but don't shh.
You're
like
getting
that,
Closer
that's
to
it.
Seinfeld every day.
Yes.
Every sentence.
What's
Oh.
the
Trying to
deal with
invent
these
a
goblins?
kind of thing. But like
I was
not getting it
walking
right,
through
so
the
it's like
woods the other day.
Walking through the woods the other day. These
Oh.
goblins.
was the
man.
other day. So that's what Yonsei usually does with their time. Outside of that, I imagine normally Yonsei would also be bothering Felix and the
Uh-huh.
king.
course.
Not the king, sorry, the prince. Maybe my existence bothers the king. If so, like score. Like
It does
Right?
a little bit, yeah.
yeah. And then sometimes hanging out with Johan. But trying to branch out and become my own
Yeah.
person a little bit here. So not as often as I perhaps used to. Yonsei is educated. Yonsei can do their own things. He's like, I'm independent. Got my own friends. I have a loot now. I went on an adventure. I had a blister on my toe. Like, telling this to just a random person in the bar, by the way. Just
I think it's a person. I think it's a possum outside, like, rifling through the trash of, like, a bar
Yeah, just,
you
like,
got kicked out of.
really drunk. Yonsei probably has some issues with, like, just really having a really low tolerance, but not knowing that. It's just... Because my constitution is shit. Just, like...
Yonsei, your way of relaxation hurts me physically, because it does mirror my early 20s quite well.
I mean, that's what Yonsei is. Yonsei is an early 20-something Gen Z baby who's, like...
Trapped in a medieval world.
trapped in a medieval world with
He's
people
the-
that don't
he's
understand.
First Zoomer.
Oh,
Exactly.
fuck.
Child of people that don't understand, like, this in-depth humor that he's a far and above of everyone else. Like, in terms of his jokes, like Yo Mama jokes. Like, revolutionary.
It must be very
Again, saying all of
lonely.
this to a possum. Like, just in the middle of the street.
You're super drunk, so you won't remember when the possum answers back to you of like, I only have 2.5 years to live, and I regret every single moment that I've shared with you.
Shit, man.
And then it leaves.
Do you want to, like, hang out? Do you want to make some memorable moments right now?
Hell no.
I'm vibing
gonna
with
go
you, man.
Eat a
Like,
rotten apple. Delicious.
do you want a fresh apple? I can get you an apple. I feel like we could be a great duo.
You're just following this possum that's moving at like half a foot a minute. It's just like eating bugs in a garbage can. It's just a
Just a
rot
flea-ridden
box,
possum.
too. It's not even a real garbage.
Hang on, are you the one that talked to my mentor Johan? Did he get the fake death thingy from your people? Is that a thing? Like, I'm not gonna be offended if that's where it came from. All right, if you know Johan or like your great grandpa or something, okay? I just need to know the secrets.
Blackout drunk, Yonsei will wake up after the long rest in their room, having somehow meandered back into the keep. Or the castle, excuse me. Glynis, we have now
All right.
arrived.
Glynis has many a thing that he desires during this like kind of time off. He sees there are 2 weeks or 3 weeks before the party is scheduled to happen. So he knows that there's some time to kind of rally the morale and get everybody excited and on the same page. But first, he needs a new weapon. His mind has expanded. His body is thrumming with a new energy, and he knows what must be done. He seeks out the Sword Master Felix, and he explains, Felix, I seem to have a need for a new weapon. This short blade that I wield has been great at training, but I wish to master my grandfather's sword. A sword an arm and a half long. I think we need to have a new set of training. A new regimen that we need to come up with.
A new one. But what would that be? What would that be? How are you feeling? Do you feel more like you want to crush things? You want to cut things? You want to pierce things?
Well,
What's your
all
style?
of that sounds wonderful, but the goal here is to prepare mind and body to wield my grandfather's sword. Doing so will require mastering something a little less thin and quick as your own rapier. Perhaps a long sword of types.
I can see that happening. We could try to train you in the long sword type of exercise, if you're willing to put out the effort, of course. Not gonna be an easy one.
Of course, Felix. You saw the majestical golden snapdragon I attempted with the short sword. I just didn't have enough reach to land the finishing blow with it on that hobgoblin. I had to resort to wielding my mighty knees to his groins area, as we were taught in self-defense class. But I believe it is time to begin the journey down mastering my grandfather's blade. The action that we saw this last week or so. Well, how long has it been since we marched out into the ice? Maybe 2 days of travel has really opened my eyes to the need to change my fighting style.
Well then, if I suppose when the prince seeks me out, I'm at work, I guess. So I would be sure.
I like to think I just found you at a random orphanage. Actually, that'd be really funny.
Oh,
It's
that would be funny. What? What you doing here? Looking for a hair?
Prince Glynis has no concept of you're dismissed to do your own thing, but he has no concept of time off. You're always working. You're always on the clock.
All right. Well, in that case, I think we should get to it right now. I'll get you a sword. I'm sure we can find something in the back at the barracks. I think I know the type you would want to start with. Just the classic longsword. It can be wielded by one hand, two hands, and maybe if you feel comfortable enough with using both of your hands, you might want to switch for the great sword. But let's start with the long one.
Perfect. Yes. All right. Let's make a detailed plan of each and every, shirtless morning I spend swinging this sword. What will my exercises be? And Felix and I prepare a great workout regimen to begin mastering the blade. Yeah, we Rocky montage.
Training montage.
we start running the steps of the palace. We drink down some raw eggs. Yeah. But among this, Felix says that he would find a sword in the back of the barracks, and the prince spends some hour with the sword, focusing his mind and body as he is now able to commune with his ki. And he spends it in this hour to attune to this weapon and to cause it to be a monk weapon for him. And when Felix starts training with him, Prince is awkward and unable to hold it properly. Is probably thinking oh, this kid, what's wrong with him? But after an hour spent channeling my ki, I immediately begin stepping up the pace a little bit. Perhaps this unwieldy child can be trained in something. Maybe he won't lose to the orphans next time.
Okay.
All right.
Is this...
While you guys are spending this wonderful time together, Beyonce is...
Yes.
Yes.
He's not saying yes anymore. He's sad. He's left out. He's like, oh no.
Y'all say you got a little right here.
Oh my god.
All right. After spending some days with Felix mastering some new blades and footwork, the prince will seek out Beyonce somewhere, as he has plans that need his unbridled enthusiasm and courage. So I'm sure he finds Beyonce in a gambling parlor, hitting on 20, and it has to kind of pull them away, say, all right, I know you're really enjoying yourself here, but
it's not a winning streak, man.
Yeah, I know. We
they were laughing at my jokes. It was great.
Beautiful. Look, I need your expert advice. No one I know is as courageous in the face of everyday life as you, right? You're tackling everyone's disapproval and disdain with just enthusiasm and excitement.
There you go. Perfect. Perfect amount of compliments. Great job.
I have a gnome friend with a big hat. And
I'm aware. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know Staffroom.
You do? Wow.
I do.
When he came here, he seemed a bit anxious, a little reserved. What is the craziest, most adrenaline-pumping thing we can do around this castle? And how do we drag him into it?
Okay, alright. So, this might be too crazy, okay? But I think it's great for him. So there's this guy that works for your dad. Or maybe your uncle. I don't know. His job is questionable. But he's really big and really strong. And if you go up to him, and you slap his ass, he will chase you for multiple miles.
All right.
And now I think
I see where you're coming from
involved in this. Hang on, let me finish.
Okay.
All right, and we grease the floor. All right. It's just watching this guy fall. If we can get, all right, listen. If we can get someone else involved too, just someone important in the room to see this happen, or to also fall in the grease, I think it'd be hilarious. I think this is the best joke of the year, maybe. And
okay, I like where you're coming from here with the grease. I think we need to file this one away. We're gonna get Johan with that for sure. Yeah, right? Oh, Johan falling in the grease, embarrassing himself. Mm-hmm. I think that was just such a good idea. We have to save it for later. We can't waste that now.
All right. Next thing. Okay, so there's this lady. All right, she sells like poisons, but also anecdotes, and also she sells some really like little mushrooms that just like you've never seen the world until you've had one of these little mushrooms. Okay, and I think maybe we give Sneffer like half of a mushroom, or maybe half of one. But I think there'll be also a great experience, you know, just like you like it just kind of maybe you should take one.
I love the idea of mushrooms in the like that sounds good. We need an activity though, right? Just eating a mushroom isn't going to be that exciting. What do we do?
Well, the activities come
while
after you
eating
eat the mushroom. They just kind of come to mind afterwards.
You know what?
You know,
I've seen people do high dives off of, you know, the King's Rock near the palace into the river. I think that we should eat the mushrooms.
While on mushrooms?
And then go jump off the rock with Snefru. That would be exhilarating, I'm sure of it.
That would be I don't know if gnomes can swim. I'm gonna be honest. I feel like we should do research.
Swim.
Well, okay. You know, this is gonna sound weird, but I don't think gnomes are children. Although he is small.
What if we bring the sea creature along? Dysum could save him for sure.
And then, you know, if
team building.
If it's drowning, you know, Dysum can go save him because he's got tentacles or something on his face.
So,
he obviously can breathe underwater.
Can I jump in just for a second? Because
Sure.
I feel like if I don't, it won't end. So there's no reason why Glynis wouldn't believe what you're saying, Yonsei. But you are an educated spellcaster. You know that water is the enemy and bane of all spellcasters who require verbal components. And you suggesting, or facilitating, if you will, getting Snefru into a position where he is not just powerless, but has to rely on his physical strength, or he will drown to death, is both very hilarious and dark. And I don't know if Yonsei, with that extra knowledge, would be giving this suggestion out of getting him high on psilocybin, pushing him into a fast-moving river, and then never seeing your court wizard again.
We're on. Okay, all right, hold on.
That's
just
why
like
we're bringing the Dragonborn,
a little, just like jump in here, right? Like, look at all the little pieces of island and stuff here around the castle, right? You're telling me that every single bit of this river, as it hits this area, is moving swiftly and fast. There's no like pools or like.
I stand by my testament that I think as a gnome, he's just gonna sink like a little rock.
I just want Yonsei to know that, like, you are engineering kind of a murder plot right now. On the most extreme.
Here's the reality, though. Yonsei is like... Yonsei's like, okay, we're gonna get mushrooms, we're gonna get high, we're absolutely not gonna do this afterwards, because we're gonna be too high to make... Like, we're not gonna be able to accomplish this. So Yonsei is just, like, entertaining the prince's ideas here, but in his head, he's like, nah, dude, we're gonna take a single mushroom, and you're gonna be out for, like, 2 days. Like... And Snefru's gonna love taking a mushroom. Like, that's gonna be like... gonna open his eyes to new magic, you know? Great
Snefru was very straight-laced, so this will be interesting.
You know, that's what... So if you, like, in all honesty, Yonsei's not expecting any of this to happen past the taking the mushrooms part.
Alright, let's go get mushrooms from the herbalist. Come on, Yonsei, show me this. Show me this person.
Yonsei right, goes in and realizes they're banned, so they have you go in.
Prince!
Oh, my prince, this old woman says. I greet you. Oh, how may I humbly help?
It is a pleasure to meet you. I've been told that you are a provider of delicious mushrooms that we should most definitely consume. Yes, the royal jester himself thinks that these mushrooms are the most exhilarating possible.
I suppose
I would like to procure
perspective,
4 of your most exhilarating mushrooms.
Well, I live to serve. Have you been taught on how to properly use them?
Been told you eat them.
Why? Who told you that, Your Highness?
Oh, Yonsei, of course.
I see. Are they an enemy of the state, Your Highness?
No, I could see why you might think that, but I trust Yonsei. They are my cousin. Which I've recently learned are actually my cousin. I thought that was a joke. But no, they are humorous and full of vigor. They love to pull a practical joke, but I am sure that they put both my own safety and country first.
I wouldn't be sure of that, Your Highness. Did you
Much
read
like my
the
father,
sign
really.
outside? I'm a poison peddler.
Oh.
Suppose I could sell you some mushrooms, of course. In fact, I'd give you my entire stock for free if you demanded it.
Oh, I would never demand your entire stock, good woman. I wish you the best in business. I simply wish to procure 4 exhilarating mushrooms. Perhaps you might be a better a judge of what we need. Look, I have a friend who is very buttoned up and reserved, and I'm looking to give him an adrenaline rush, an exhilarating experience. I think we were thinking of consuming your exhilarating mushrooms and then diving off King's Rock as like a bonding experience.
My lord, these mushrooms could be considered as a paralytic.
That sounds not very great. No.
Paralyze him and then throw him into water.
Do you have non-paralytic exhilarating mushrooms?
I'm a poison vendor, of course not. I kill things, Your Highness.
I'm glad I spoke to you first. It seems perhaps these mushrooms might need another time and place. Thank you, good woman, for your advice and good service to the crowd. Here, I shuffle some coins at her. And I walk up to Yonsei and I'm like, it sounds like that might paralyze people. We'll have to think of a better use for the mushrooms.
Did you specifically ask for the little blue ones, though?
I asked for her most exhilarating mushrooms.
Oh, all right. You know what? It's okay. Yonsei is gonna disguise himself.
Ow.
Uh,
You're a clown. You dress in jester's
Yonsei has a
clothing.
disguise kit and 2 costumes.
You go outside to a little alley, you hand a little mirror to the prince, I need this. Hold
Get all
on.
dressed up.
What are your costumes look like?
I think one is like a dress, like a maid's dress, or something really inconspicuous. The whole point of the costumes is for Yonsei to not look like Yonsei, so all the colorful, entourage and rich clothing goes away.
Alright.
And puts on just a commoner's clothing, a maid's outfit, a little even a little bonnet in her hair and everything, put some makeup on to make herself look super pale and sick and poor looking and something, and pops out hey.
I would love a disguise kit check from you. And to me, I don't know what it would be for an attribute modifier. I have no idea, so you can sell me on
Riz. Straight Riz.
a charisma. Okay. Give me a disguise kit charisma check. Oh my god, it's so good. Alright, you walk in. Oh my god, they rolled a nat 1. See where your disguise is. Hello,
The dice wanted
how
to
are
happen.
you? How may I help you?
My good lady, I'm in need of 3 glittered blue mushrooms. This size.
Rats or mice or cats or crows or lice or
Or gnomes.
Oh,
My garden gnomes are moving, and I believe it's because of little tiny rats inside of them.
it could be
There's 3
voles.
little tiny mushrooms, very small.
Of course, it'll be only 3 copper pieces.
Fantastic deal, my lady. Yonsei looks in his purse, which is filled with nothing but gold. It's like,
You break a 100
a
at the
month's
Starbucks.
wages. I hope you have change.
Well, I don't. Oh, whoa. She says. Give her a gold. What? I'm rolling in the dough
I'm
today.
paid monthly.
What if I give you here? And she goes to the coins the prince gave her, just because he's the prince. And like counts out 9 silver and I don't have 9 he didn't give me 9 copper, so here's 9 silver. And here's your mushrooms, I guess.
I have a feeling you just purchased rat poison.
Go ahead, keep it.
What?
That's sweet. Thank you for being such a great part of this community. You look fantastic for your age. Have a good day, madam.
This old woman just like stares bewildered, like I've seen that person before, but I can't remember when.
Here's okay.
Now, Yonsei. Oh God.
Are these actually like little blue? Because whatever check I need to do to know if these mushrooms are actually edible or not, I'll do it half-heartedly. But
what do you mean? By
Wait, you haven't
edible?
tried these before?
Yonsei definitely like had them with someone else who
God.
like told Yonsei where they got it from, and that information is skewed by the fact that Yonsei was high at the time. But he does remember that they were little blue mushrooms.
You know who would be super useful at identifying this?
It's someone that you know who can have the other half of a mushroom? Fish guy. Let's go find him.
He's probably a good
Yes, name.
swimmer too. I guess.
Dyson, yes. No, he should be included. We need a team building moment for sure.
Exactly. We got this.
Team building mode was just poisoning Daiso.
You two run back to the keep. Felix, you have no idea where the prince is, but he was supposed to be here like half an hour ago to start his training regime.
I think that you're
I'm just waiting
progressively
with the-
trying to like
No,
stop
we're
us
doing
from
this
making
on like
this
a
mistake.
Saturday or something. Like we got a break
He's
in the
trying to
regimen.
include more people, guys.
Oh, okay, fine.
Felix has the day wrong. He doesn't know. He's like, where's the prince?
Yonsei keeps looking at his 3 mushrooms. He's like, I guess if we just cut them up, like frantically
Felix,
trying
my
to
good
divide
man.
them even more.
Almost our whole retinue is here. You know what? If we're going to include everyone but one, we might as well invite the others. Where might I find Elva? Surely she should come jump off the rock with us.
Evil tends to kind of hang out by herself and be all moody and glum about the fact that she's alone. So
Oh, by herself. I know exactly where. And I like disappear behind an alleyway somewhere. It's like I find the Order of the Moon that I like actually am a part of. And I'm like, I need to speak to Sister Elva. Where can I
Hello,
find
fellow vigilante. She's over here beating up a mime.
the greater good?
Is that what you guys say to each other?
Beyond
Oh,
the neighborhood
shit.
watch from Hot Fuzz.
Oh my
I don't know.
God.
I will retract my greater good, but I did find it funny.
This is this is not this is not an Edgar Wright film. I think you find Eleva purchasing poison to help with some rat infestations that the Order is dealing with.
Perfect. I was just there, and I rushed to the apothecary, like opening the door and finding Eleva probably in mid-transaction. Like, oh, perfect! I was just in here. Eleva, we're all going to King's Rock together. It'll be a bonding experience. So jumping off. I was going to have mushrooms here, but that kind lady told us not to. Come, join us.
Who recommended that you have mushrooms?
I'll give you one guess.
I'm going to be coming with you.
Excellent.
Sure you
Oh.
don't die.
Beyonce at this point is like, if I brew it into tea, everyone can have one cup. It's like,
I gather everyone together, and we make our way to King's Rock, a known place, kind of just outside the palace. I'm thinking about right here on this like kind of isle, like off the coast of the castle. There's a big rock there, and the waters are slow and churn only a little bit as they are broken up by the many chains of islands north of it.
Man,
and
it's
in
deep.
a slow channel. It is a known spot for children and more adventurous young adults to jump off. And I gather everyone around and I say, I've decided that we are in need of some bonding and team building together. This was started as a small thing, but I've decided we should all be included in it. We are going to be having a day of fun in the sun and diving off of King's Rock. I have ordered Yonsei to bring snacks, as they are always so keen to make sure we have a good time. And we are going to forget all of our tensions and responsibilities and enjoy ourselves.
Beyonce's like pouring everyone a cup of tea.
Oh, thank
There's some little scones. Some cucumber sandwiches.
Felix and Snefru drink uncaring. No survival instincts at all. Glynis, do you imbibe too?
Beyonce also drinks it. Are you kidding me?
Possibly be poisonous if Yonsei's drinking it themselves, guys. You have
That's the
no
logic I'm
reason
going
to
for,
doubt
but-
them.
Today will be a learning experience.
a suicide pact. Eleva feels like that is exactly the kind of thing Yonsei would pull, and it's definitely going to make double check the mushroom. Just checking over it, make sure the dosage isn't too high, make sure it's not fucking nightcap.
But what if it is? Oh,
Is it?
how many people imbibe in the tea? That's what I want to know. Raise of hands. Show of hands.
Can I check the mushroom before I imbibe the tea?
It sounds like she already brewed it and then brought the whole tea kettle to the area. So it's cold tea. It's made with butter.
She
I can
didn't even
fix
make
that.
iced tea. It's just cold
It's just
now.
lukewarm. Like,
I think
And
Eleva
temperature,
will be
yeah.
abstaining, partially because of concern that Yonsei is poisoning us all, partially out of the insult sense that it's cold tea. Not even sweet tea, just cold, just lukewarm,
not
room
sweet,
temperature
yeah.
tea.
as it stands, Yonsei has never made like tea ever in their life. Like they wouldn't know that like anything else is involved besides throwing shit in some water.
There's like
Heating it up.
stems floating in it.
oh god.
It's like this is how they do it, right?
To be fair, I don't even think we would expect the tea to be cold. Like, we'll just get the cup and they're like, oh yeah, tea!
Snefru drinks some of it and he goes, oh, that's cold. And he gets his wand out and heats it up. It's better hot.
Stephanie, if I may, thank you. Much better.
If everyone who
it's
can
easier.
who drinks, just go ahead and do a Constitution saving throw for fun.
Oh,
I would love to see it. It's not the highest DC. Surely you won't die, Felix and Glynis. Dizem, what about you, bud?
I didn't drink the tea.
Smart.
I just looked down at this cup of like this looks nothing like tea. It's like a weird, off-putting orange color. Like this looks absolutely.
Yancey did not
nothing
clean the
like
mushrooms before
any
putting it in
tea
the
I've
water.
ever
There's
had
like dirt
before.
in there.
Oh my god.
Got a
Do you
weird
drink the tea
aftertaste.
that Eleva offers you?
Does
She's
it look like
making her
normal
own
tea?
Yeah, it's just normal tea.
Ah, then of course I'll have
Yancey
some
was
of that tea.
supposed to ask Dizem about the mushrooms and just like
Yeah,
forgot.
you never.
This is great. I love this.
Well, while we're all
Anyways,
here,
Yancey got a 20, so
Yonsei and Snefru will be fine at the end of the day. However, jumping in... So, as a reminder, it's the middle of January, so this river is pretty cold. As you jump straight
Oh.
in,
I didn't even think of that. Yeah.
you know, it
I
is a
forgot we were
very
in the
chilling
winter.
experience.
we all got really excited about bonding. It was fun.
Oh, we should have gone like skiing or like something. Didn't even. I forgot we were in
Just
the
eat some
ice.
mushrooms and then go skiing. Yeah.
We're gonna end on the scene of potentially people getting hypothermia as they stay too long in the water, while Yonsei completely just stands perfectly still, enjoys the high, and just like, there's no way I'm getting in that fucking water.
Well, this
Snefru,
went out of control. But
I will give you the
I'm sorry.
option to decide if you, as one of the boys, jumps in into the freezing.
I think you need to cast grease under Yonsei's feet. Have them join the water.
I think it would be even funnier, to like levitate Beyonce. But Snefru would like disrobe as you would before jumping in, and then he'd like go to the edge and like put his toe in. He goes, "Nope, nope, no, too cold, too cold."
Will I just run by, just way too high? Just I wanna do a front flip.
Eleva's preparing hot tea and warm towels for everyone.
A fire gets started. It is a fun learning experience, as some might say. But at the end of it, we're going to take our first break, and when we come back, we have some royal duties to attend to that I think everyone can join in on. We'll be
Yancey's
right
gonna
back.
feed the rest of the tea to the possums.
You monster.
It's like,
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I hope you all had a lovely break like we did. I'm going to resume our scenes with all of you back in the keep, back in the castle, in a room where there is a roaring fire, where all of you who have gotten frozen wet or freezing actively, wrapped in blankets in front of it, are just continuing to vibe out, enjoy the high if you are, in fact, high on whatever sort of mushroom Beyonce has blended into tea. Blended poorly into tea, I should say. We are going to say that it is now the 24th of January when this adventure / end of long rest celebration takes off. So I want to mechanically catch us up before we jump into the next narrative scene here. So for those of you who don't know, a long rest, you regain all your lost hit points, spell slots, all the good resources, all the mumbo jumbo. Something. Character also regains spent hit dice up to a number of dice equal to half of the character's total number of them, with a minimum of 1. So everyone should get at least 1 hit dice back. For sure, for real. Mm-hmm. And your long rest will complete. So once everyone has given me the thumbs up that your sheets are ready to go, we can continue. I know that Dyson hasn't really needed to cast any spells just yet. Yeah.
Just been chilling.
Big chillin', making potions. Well, as you all are in a parlor room or in a den or somewhere nice and warm, vibing out, maybe this is a bad time for this character to enter, but Uncle Gunnar, your father's spy master, Glynis, or Master of Whispers, as you called him earlier, barges into the room, uncaring for decorum at all. Scaring probably Yonsei the most, because this is the guy who does, like, all the silent jobs of the court, and has, like, no room for bullshit at all. And, like, ugh. He has a cold gaze upon his face as he looks to you all, youngsters in his eyes, hanging out, having jumped into the cold Alfaros River, when he states, "Your Highness, we have a problem."
Yes, son. Uncle Gunnar, what is the problem?
I have gone to this place, this tent encampment thing that you said you had burned down, and I have found it scrubbed clean of any signs of human life, save for a few burned arrowheads that had been left behind.
And they have moved on somewhere else. Shall we search for them?
You shall not, no. Though I must ask now, and he hurls up the orders that you had given him. Out of curiosity, who do you suspect to be the one who wrote this note?
I hesitate to speculate, Mr. Gunnar. I would like to have more time to come to my own conclusions before casting aspersions upon those inside our country's walls. Do you need an answer this moment?
I don't, no. I wanted to see what sort of conclusion you would jump to. But if you are wisely biding your tongue, then I have no complaints for now. Your father wishes to speak with you about marriage.
Oh, yes. What a time for that. Let me dry off a bit, and I will meet him in the study. Is that where we went last time? I'll meet him in the quarters of judgment.
The quarters of judgment. Understood. I will tell your father to go there.
I think that's just what you call it, Glynis.
Yeah, definitely.
Glynis is also a little high.
It's a king's salon, but it's the quarters of judgment.
As he stares at you two for a brief moment, he catches Eluva's gaze and stares at her for a moment, longer than any of you, before walking away speedily, closing the door, slamming the door shut behind him.
Oh god.
Do you think he could tell that we were high?
No.
No
certainly
way.
not.
No way.
Is that what this
Right?
is?
What? Snappy, are you feeling insight into the divine or something?
No, but my fingers are numb.
Hey, that might be the cold.
Oh.
Yeah. You get closer to the fire. Don't go in though. I'm pretty sure gnomes aren't fireproof. Hey, can you guys swim?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I can't speak for all gnomes, but yes.
Okay. Alright. You specifically can swim.
I specifically enjoy swimming, not in the winter.
Alright. Alright. Great to know. Good to know, for no particular reason. Eleva, he did a lot of intense eye contact. Do you feel violated?
I feel yet more unwarranted suspicion has been placed upon me. I also feel as if I have been guilty by association.
With us?
With the mushrooms you have taken.
He died. We were
Not
You're just cold. It's fine.
You get
Felix,
decent
how you
here.
doing, bud? No, not doing too good.
I'll make it up to you, Felix.
I'm just by the fire, just looking at Yancey and just going.
My prince, there is a matter that I have not had the opportunity to broach to you. Perhaps now is not the best time. Are you feeling okay after what after what the mushrooms did?
I can see through walls.
We will discuss this at a later.
Beyonce immediately just starts like giggling into like
I am glaring at you, Yonsei.
All right. Well, I
okay, next time we can use
had
the
more
little
downtime
purple
plans, but it seems our downtime is over. I will wish to speak with you later too. Off to the judgment quarters I go, and I like
Should you?
stumble my way out
Do you
of the
want
room.
a water?
Oh,
Do you want a
no.
coffee?
I'm dripping in it. I'm okay.
It's just his sweat. He's been sweating profusely.
I'm going to like sort of grab the prince. Just pull yourself together. I know that your mind is swimming right now, and I need you to do your best to hold it in. And if all else fails, I'm going to make sure no one stabs you in the back, and I'm going to give you a bardic inspiration die. Because I feel like you need it to not look high in front of the entire court.
Oh,
I walk away holding my head. Keep it in. Keep it in.
You got this. I believe in you. Woo! Bardic inspiration doesn't stack, right?
no.
No, so that is not inspiring at all.
Yeah, you literally just say, keep it in, keep it in. And then head off, Glynis. Leaving the 5 members of your retinue alone in a room together. And I wish to focus on them before we have a conversation about marriage, even though I know how dramatic and juicy that can be for a lot of people.
So,
Retinue. What do you guys think happened at that campsite of quote-unquote poachers that were clearly not just poachers?
No clue.
It's true. Very true, Dizem.
I've not been informed about any of this.
So,
I was like,
I-
what the fuck?
So
In
Dyson,
fairness, you
Yeah.
were standing in the court when we were announced, and I told the assembled court the story of our adventure.
This is the first time I've been in any court. I wasn't really focusing on the conversation. I
Fair.
was like, where
Fair.
am I? This place is so big. You could fit so many houses in here.
For those of you who might have a little bit more of an opinion, then.
Well, I think I'm stating the obvious when I say that clearly someone is trying to. I don't want to say conquer, but this is very close.
Eleva suspects more of a personal smite against the royal family in particular, not necessarily against Livistio itself.
well, I would just contest that it takes a lot of influence and wealth to have that many men-at-arms that well trained to be that mobile. It's very serious. Very powerful. So, what powerful people want to stop the king from claiming new lands for the new royal?
I have a theory. Do you guys want to hear it?
Sure.
If elevated to a new level of being, okay? What if all those people that live between us and the people that live in the north that really hate us, and they've decided that they fucking are tired of our bullshit, and they've banded together to form their own rebel government?
That's definitely a theory.
Right?
Not a bad one.
Yeah.
Definitely a
That's
theory.
pretty good.
Um,
Or it's
I-
the people in the north that hate us.
Yeah, that's
Well-
the same theory.
It's the same. That's a different theory.
well, if we can find out what religion this symbol
What if it's
belongs
his
to,
mom?
I would not cast aspersions at the Queen Mother inside.
She's like my aunt. It's fine.
I would not cast aspersions at the Queen Mother.
No.
You can do what you want.
No, you... Be careful what you say, Sneffer.
These are like the few words you should never say to Beyonce.
Yeah, last time someone said that to me, they ended up hanging from a rope from the castle walls. I was supposed to help them, but I got distracted.
Did we ever find out what that holy symbol belonged to?
I don't
Yeah, let's
think
change the
anyone
subject.
brought it up to the court. I think it's still on
Well,
your
if
person.
we had been a little snappier with some mushrooms, we would have gotten to that. Because I have a cleric in my party now. Just didn't get to him somehow.
There's only so much time in a week, guys. I'm sorry.
Mushrooms were important. They were a bonding experience.
It's true.
Learning.
I mean, I
No,
have
no,
the dagger with the weird symbol on me. And
I
I
don't-
think,
Pull it out. Stab it on the table
yeah,
dramatically.
no, I am at this point pulling it out. I would prefer not to do this while people is high, but I think it's become pertinent now.
Yeah.
Beyonce
This
takes
one-
out his one dagger and stabs it into the table dramatically. Like, do that.
This was amongst the personal possessions of the commander, and I will like look at the dagger you have impaled, and I will gently set the dagger on the table. And I was wondering perhaps if anyone recognized the symbols engraved upon it.
We all stare intently.
Aluva, did you take notes on what the symbol was?
You
We have the
told
dagger.
me.
It
That-
looked to be a large beetle with its mouth open.
Correct.
Yes. You told me that that's what Elva thought it looked like.
Exactly.
Also correct.
I just like testing my players to see how good their notes are. You know what I mean? I don't forget things like that, surely. Anyone
Beyonce has
who
no
is here,
proficiencies in
who
anything involving
is...
religion.
God damn it.
Sorry. Go
I
ahead.
trail off to let you talk, and then you do the same thing for me, and then it's a cycle, okay? We need to break that cycle.
Endless cycle. Never
Uh,
broken.
God damn it. Beetle, that's what Alula thought. Anyone in this room who is proficient, I suppose, in nature may make a nature roll immediately. Or history. It's up to them.
I'm not proficient in history? I need to fix this.
Oh no.
I'm proficient in both, and I have the same plus, but I rolled nature.
Okay. Any other takers?
I'm proficient in neither.
Snefru, you rolled a 16. Very nice roll. There are very few, let's say, heraldic insects that someone would go through the trouble of, like, stamping on the edge of a rondel dagger, which I suppose is what this is. Or a punching dagger, where you stab someone and then hit your palm onto the top of it. It's a very brutal weapon that you're here, like, looking at first of all. That's meant to, like, attack a man who's wearing armor. Excuse me. After thinking for a little bit, as you stare at this, like, great big carapaced head, as well as, like, tiny arms that are kind of, like, put down lower beyond the head. It's either, you know, the weirdest, like, beetle, I suppose, that you've ever seen, but it also suspiciously looks like a boule.
In English?
A what?
A land shark.
A boule is like a land shark. It's a
Oh, got it.
common 5e monster, like large. It tunnels through the ground and eats things. Often found in like the Underdark in like old school editions, but has since
Oh,
moved
that
to
thing.
like deserts and plains.
It appears to be possibly a boule.
What's a bouleg?
I repeat what the prince's spirit told us.
In older editions, you say.
Wait, the desert?
In the
D&D.
nature.
So, like, where his mom is from?
I'm not sure. I'd have to think about houses that would have relationship with a boule,
Which is
or
her
would care to
entire
use one.
country is like in a wasteland or something, right?
Beyonce, don't get your own country's history wrong, please.
It's your own country.
Henrietta,
Beyonce's hot.
forgot.
The kingdom of Zuan, I believe,
Beyonce's high.
with their infamous, formidable wall and the wastelands past. I don't know.
What is wastelands? The
No,
wasteland's not a desert?
don't know if Boule is related to any of the powers of that kingdom.
Well, regardless, our boule is common around these parts.
Not in Livistio. I will give everyone a freebie there, because if they were, you all would have definitely heard of them. You guys are kind of in a river, hilly, forested region, and that's just, like, too much roots and, like, hard stone for boules to just casually tunnel through. One of the reasons why they do like cleared lands, specifically with sands or just loose dirt, is because it's easier to travel under and push through and dig through. So no, boules are like foreign to you guys. That said,
The
Zuan,
kingdom of Niord, right?
yeah,
So
They have-
the kingdom of Niord. Let's see. very recently had a king that allowed for the church to do something, and he's known as the Boule Slayer. So I think if you are a recent history buff as a party member, you might know that.
I don't think anyone's got that though. Erase the memory. Erase the memory.
I am proficient in history.
Yeah, you would probably know, especially you. You're a court wizard. You should know your neighbors, right? Or your country's neighbors that you're visiting / going to be staying in. Niort does have a king who is known as the Boule Slayer. But that is kind of on the nose, wouldn't you think? Rondel dagger
Ooh,
with
on the nose.
a Boule upon it, just left out to find or be found.
Either it's a very obvious ploy to assign blame to the Boule Slayer to the north, or it's a critical flaw in their plan to leave that dagger right where we could find it. I think it's worth looking into Njord, but we should keep our mind open and not be misled.
Is it possible that the reason they targeted royal lands in particular was to ensure that someone would come to investigate?
Or to start a war between Livistios and Njord.
Exactly.
Who would profit from such a thing?
Yeah. So I was gonna ask, why
Does
a
the-
war?
Do we know of any connection between Njord and the whatever of agriculture or whatever?
Bryce Bronson?
Baron Bronson?
Yes, that one.
Oh, there's multiple Bronsons.
The one is the one. Okay, no, we found the thing that had his seal on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's suspicious because those were our crates with our tools and equipment that the goblins took.
Unless
I don't know if
knew
that-
they were gonna be taken.
It was odd because normally he wouldn't be personally involved in something like this.
Exactly.
But
Maybe it was a secret letter to whoever was supposed to
That's-
get the crates.
That's not
Or-
quite enough to go upon, I think.
Or like the dagger, it was put there to mislead us.
Maybe the mislead us
Potentially.
from.
In
Potentially.
The guy.
in which exact condition have you found the dagger?
Stabbed in my back. Not
The lights go out.
It was among the personal effects of the leader type guy we
Yeah.
think of the tent, right? Elva was going through the personal space and effects of the person that was staying in there and found it amongst them.
Does the grip look worn at all? Or does it look new?
It looks new. It is a wired handle, so someone has taken either like a copper or brass wire and has wired it all around the handle.
I don't think this dagger has been used, which either points to it being purely ornamental and sentimental, or it was created specifically for us to find. And unfortunately, the one who might hold the answer to that particular question is long gone.
Can
What
always
of the
ask the guy
prisoner?
in the basement.
Yep.
We could always ask our poor prisoner,
Everyone's got to take Yancey's good ideas.
Rimco.
I think we have an investigation or a questioning to perform.
Quick,
Do we wait
just
for the prince
very-
to get back from marriage talks, or do we go
Yeah.
do this ourselves?
Do we think
I
it's
do
wise
know a
to
secret
question?
way into the dungeon.
Do we think it's
Very
wise
quick
to question
You can
Rimco?
clarify me.
Go ahead, Red or Dizem.
What are you guys on about? Like I don't.
Can we-
I'm trying to follow the best I can.
All right. Are you ready for the Yonsei recap?
I don't think any of us are, but please go ahead.
Okay.
Go
So
right ahead.
us and the prince decided to go be cool together up in the mountains and get back some tools that was stolen. All right. So we went tromping up there. We found some goblins. Turns out the goblins stole it. We killed the goblins. And then while we were looking through the goblin stuff, we found like this scroll thingy that had a seal on it that involves a guy that's in the court or whatever. I don't know. Eleva like threatened him slightly.
I think we should stop the Yonsei recap with the misinformation. In the equipment, we found a seal that belonged to the Lord of Agriculture.
Just said that.
In the crates,
Nephew.
not the scroll.
My gosh, man.
The scroll was unmarked and unsigned.
But there was a seal on it. Right? The seal's important, and did it have writing on it? The writing was suspicious.
There was no seal upon the scroll.
Oh.
That was on the
There was a
crate
seal on.
that the goblins took the equipment out of.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you know what? Details, Snuffy. All right. Details. Unimportant. All right. We decided we're gonna get to the bottom of this shit. Okay. So we go and we do a camp. Next day, we're going out. We find some weird red rope tied around some trees, and we're like, Evil and I, super sneaky, find this dude just like in a field, like chopping a tree. All right, we weren't discovered, but somehow they knew we were there. And then we got into a little tiff. And this other guy showed up, and he had a bunch of other guys, and then there was like arrows and stuff, and we followed them back. Like not exactly on the trail of like the red little rope thingies, but like kind of on the trail of the red little rope thing. And then we got there. And then we battled. Whoa. The prince died, and it was really sad. I don't know why I'm laughing, but I wasn't there for it. I was in a tent. And then somewhere along the way, Eleva found a dagger because she's, finds things, I guess. And then now we're here. And I didn't leave anything out. What? Oh yeah, we brought him back. It's fine. I brought him back.
Better.
He got better. Yeah. I
Glennis.
cried on him. It was really dramatic.
Completely dead.
Oh, we also took a prisoner. You
Named
might have met
Remco.
him when we first arrived. He's now down in the dungeon, probably being tortured. And we can go talk to him. Maybe he'd be happy to see it. Maybe if I bring him some food. Do people like bread? Is that a thing? Do poor people like bread and like a water or something? He'll feel really grateful and tell us everything.
Are you
Any
trying to
questions?
speak to my character or me?
Oh wait.
I'm not like Glynis is not in the room with you.
No, he's not.
No,
He's
yeah,
stumbling
sorry.
through the halls of the castle looking for the quarters of judgment, trying to hold
Yonsei
his
was just
dragon.
talking out loud. There was no
Yes,
implication in the
You are right.
princess thing.
I am. You are entirely correct. I am an idiot. We learned this
No,
at
you're
the start
not,
of the
it's fine.
session. I don't know why we're surprised.
Okay. I
Why
understood about half of that.
Perfect. Can I interject so that we can transition scenes and then on a meta level can we assume that this story is retold several times
Yeah.
so that Dizem's caught up?
Yeah.
Because I'm fairly certain Red has seen the past episodes, yeah? Alright. So, we catch up his character in the interim and find Glynis Marchette stumbling around a room, eventually finding the knight who guards his father, who has gone out to look for him. Because he's taking too long. Glynis, you are escorted, we will say, to your father in his proper office this time. Also known as the Chamber of Judgment, as you have put it. Because it's very, he's not a strict father by any means, but you feel his judgment, especially now as you sit down in front of him with a blanket over a shirt. Hello, son.
Oh, good afternoon, father.
You look cold.
It's drafty in here, isn't it? Bundles up.
Very cold. My son. This is always an awkward conversation, and I don't know how to start it.
Well, we agreed last that I would consider marriage, and you would perhaps introduce me to a few people. I
Yes.
assume this is how this begins? Am I to meet someone today?
Not today, but names have been drawn, and I have to question you on preference. My father gave no heed to mine, when
I
my
see.
marriage was arranged, and I wish to not repeat that, for you.
I appreciate your concern, Father.
There are, for royals, 2 choices prior to meeting anyone or entertaining the thought of a marriage. Are you more interested in a domestic, I suppose, spouse? Someone who is from our country, who is part of the local court, or, in my case, foreign. A foreign bride from a different country altogether. There are positives and negatives for both options, as with any choice in life. The main one being now is that if you are more interested in a foreign one, I will need to spend more time researching and reaching out and getting Uncle Gunnar to put some feelers out to the greater geopolitical world.
Well, I've never been asked if I would prefer a mail-order bride before, but I've always kind of considered the prospect of marriage to be one of finding the right person. I understand
lied
that
to you?
is the. Yes, I understand that the political game requires some more than that. But if I had to choose a foreigner that I know nothing of, or someone in the court, I presume my preference would be the court.
He nods. This is such an awkward thing to talk to my son about. But the downside, of course, of choosing a domestic spouse is that you will lock essentially your entire reign until their death out of any meaningful alliances. Marriage is one of the most well-trusted and traditional use for sealing agreements between thrones, after all. For instance, when I die...
And are we in need of such an agreement now, Father?
It would only help to strengthen our country's position on a geopolitical standing. For instance, I am married to your mother, who is a princess of Zwan, and as such we have a military alliance. That military alliance will be up to you to uphold as our child, for you will, on my death, have the opportunity to break off of any responsibilities you have to their country. I would hope that you would maintain our diplomatic standing and continue that alliance without the need to marry a cousin of yours. Because God forbid, if Yonsei becomes your queen, I will haunt you. I will come back as a revenant and slay you both.
I am quite certain, as good a friend as Yonsei is, I will not be taking their hand in marriage.
Thank you. And he reaches over and puts a hand on yours. You do not know how much this pleases me. I can almost cry at this. I swear, do not put them in the line. They will kill you as a joke.
This poor king.
Okay.
Well, Father, I understand the importance of marriage as a political tool. But I suppose my question was more along the lines of, are there pressing concerns that need such a drastic step now? I am aware that we have a military alliance currently, but I also am aware that you are quite the backroom dealer. Your knowledge and wisdom has led our country into a time of great peace, and I don't necessarily believe that a marriage to a foreign diplomat is necessary at the moment to secure an alliance, but if you tell me otherwise, then perhaps that is the direction we must go.
Well, to give you a broader understanding of where Livistio lies in the greater board of politics, currently we are landlocked, save for one river which leads through the territories of Belia. Belia is a mercantile juggernaut, but they are so politically fractured due to their own private agreements and their coalition government. It is hard to say and hard to read the waves of their politics. They are currently positioning themselves for what appears to be a civil war of infighting and murders to secure the next title of... They have no king. Instead, their counts vote upon who becomes the next doge, who is essentially their figurehead in their city. Making ties with the next doge, whoever it becomes, will be important.
Well, then
both
it would seem unwise, Father, to rush into a marriage with them now. We must
Agreed.
wait and see who were to arise from that conflict.
The territory of Divinus is our southernmost neighbor. They are a small country which exerts more influence upon the independent settlements than my father, your grandfather, liked. He died fighting their forces, but we have made peace with them since, and they are too close to their own southern neighbor's civil war to truly threaten us at the moment. They also have no noble family leading them. They are a monolith of faith, and thus unpredictable when it comes to making any meaningful alliances. Which leaves Zwan, your mother's nation, and your grandfather's, I suppose. They are our friends and biggest trading partners. We supply them food, they supply us textiles and sell textiles that... Well, I won't go into the economics with you now. Lastly is the kingdom of Niord, our ancestral enemies. For the past 100 years or so, we have been skirmishing with them. Their king from your grandfather's generation is a old bastard. He is a warlord in all of the meaningful terms. Took his throne by force, ensures his power by regular purges, and his main economy is by raiding, or bolstered by raiding his neighbors of the independent settlements. We still skirmish with them to this day. However, their king is old. He is nearing his 60s. And the noble spawn of his have been positioning themselves for the game of musical chair. One of them will be visiting with us come the the end of winter festival. They are a delegate who I would like you to meet.
I would be honored to meet them, Father. I will say, from the sound of the state of things, we're in no place to rush into a marriage or alliance with any of these kingdoms. Perhaps it is best to wait, find a more suitable time to use such a powerful chip on our side of the table.
I agree. On that front, at least. He pauses for a moment. I suppose that brings us back to domestic affairs. I have found 3 political expedient suitors who would be useful regardless of your preference, I suppose. One is the Lady Myceli Wymark. She is your age, a human from the Wymark family. You remember the Judge Superior, undoubtedly.
Of course.
Yes. She has no lands of her own. She is not an inheriting daughter, but she is, well, all of the Wymarks are filthy rich, to say the least, and also locally influential. The main con of going with her is that other nobles will begin to wonder who is the power behind the throne, for the Wymarks are, again, incredibly influential. He stares at you as if you might have a question about this person.
My supposition was that he was introducing 3 candidates, but I don't know what to ask. I suppose I look forward to meeting her in the future.
Then the next one is, and you have undoubtedly heard of her exploits, the Countess Tafina Malo. She was a sellsword until the tragic death of her father and 4 brothers upon a river barge last winter, in fact. She has since...
I've had my eye on Lady Tafina for other reasons than marriage. Just out of curiosity, it is actually just like out of character. What is 37 in the like range of ages here? Like in medieval time, I feel like that's like far past marrying age, correct? But
Yeah.
are we like in a different fantasy world?
Nope. She never married. That is just her age.
Okay, like is that like, I don't know, is that like an acceptable choice like for a prince of a country, right? To marry someone that's probably like going to be
in
10,
our
15
world,
years and,
like
yeah.
just historically in our world, there's been so many mixed matches of ages that it would obviously be political, which is what your father will explain. Currently, she is a nail within our local politics. She is a war hawk. She does not trust me as a ruler and is quite open with her beliefs that we are a weak nation. This would be seen as you trying to bridge that gap to make us militarily stronger and also toning down their... well, you know, she'd stop talking shit about us, you know? Which is the main thing which we would be interested in. She is also a countess, is from a very well-established family.
I had ruled her out as a marriage target.
Very well.
previously, so I had like other plans for them. But like, if this is on the table, I think the prince is like responds positively to his father. Like, yes, I have been. This is an issue that I had noticed myself. This is something that I like potentially saw as an outcome.
I see. If you are not interested, then we will move on to the newcomer, Lady Sephron Melrote. This person was put forward to me by Baron Bryce Bronson. You're familiar with him, assuredly. She is a half-elven woman of, I believe, dark elven descent, which means her family was in the government of the Eldar Empire before it fractured and fell apart and got obliterated by the Sky Island laser gun, or whatever they're calling the Sindari's super weapon. Her history is currently a mystery. Rhyme was not intended there. However,
Trust me, I know you do not mean to rhyme ever, Father.
Exactly, yes. I don't have a sense of humor either. The main pro of her is, one, she is essentially a foreigner, backed, of course, by Bryce Bronson. She speaks not a lick of common. In fact, her Elvish is so antiquated, it is kind of concerning. I mean, I speak Elvish, but not great, and I do not understand a single word she said when we spoke. However, she is offering as dowry magical items, which could be worthy of a fortune, and could also be, well, it's not unheard of, but it's definitely surprising when some random lady shows up with 3 magical items and says, "Marry your son to me." So, I don't know. What are your thoughts on it? Feeling a little awkward as the conversation goes on.
Well, Father, I believe it would be unwise to make a rushed choice without meeting these people and understanding them more. Clearly, the woman bearing magic items must be considered, but we should verify the magic items and their use, and I think that perhaps this may be a bit beyond my personal taste. To be married off simply for a few trinkets. I suppose I had not considered Countess Tefina as a marriage partner before now, but perhaps this may be a solution to the problem. If I had to choose in this exact moment, Father, I would lean that direction, but I wish to meet the 3 of them at the very least.
Well, 2 of them you will definitely meet upon our end of winter festival on the 2nd of next month. However, the Countess, will not be arriving. She has flat out rejected the fact that we are having a festival and has refused to come.
Indeed.
Just kind of just swallows his pride there. It is a massive slap in the face when a king of a country asks you to show up and you say fuck off, right?
Yeah, I don't have like a way to soothe my father's ego there. I think I just, let that fester like a open wound.
Wow.
Anyway, you will meet my Selly Wymark, so I hope she's, she's a good girl. I've known her since since her fucking aunt showed up with her one day. But, I'm sure there'll be more. Good old Bryce Bronson is also looking into it on our behalf. I don't know why he's just such a nice guy, honestly. A good friend to the crown.
As one could only hope for from the Lord of Agriculture.
Yes,
You have picked fearsome allies, Father.
quite fierce. Well, I will let you go, and when I get more news, I will call you back here sometime. I've seen you in the yard, swinging a sword around. What's that? What are you doing there, son?
Oh well, you see, I have spoken with Sir Felix. He is quite a capable swordsmaster. I am learning to master my own body as well as my mind. Hopefully, one day I shall master it to such a degree as to be worthy to wield grandfather's blade. But until then, I merely practice with that hunk of steel.
I see. Yes. Well, I heard something. Oh, I'm such a bad father. You can go, son.
Okay. Hey, do you want to get like a ham sandwich or something? We could catch up.
Have the most awkward conversation with your father.
Yeah.
Who is realizing he has missed the first 20 years of his son's life, and there's no going back from that. You will leave. Maybe a ham sandwich will be brought and split amongst you two by good old Argyle, the loyal manservant you have. Who's just this delirious old man who lives in your castle. Fun times. The party, do you all gather in the dungeon to interrogate a man?
Yeah. I mean, if no one else is stopping Yancey.
I mean,
I
Rise
think
is just along for the ride.
I have a separate lead that I would like to pursue. So I'm going. I
Is
think
this group pursual?
Yancey, can I count on you to perform an effective interrogation?
Are you counting on me for something? Eleva!
I
That's
want
so
you to
sweet
understand
of
I do not wish this,
you.
and I wish I had a better choice.
Right. That hurts. From where I was once happy, I am now harmed.
I am going to trust you on this. I think you are capable of doing this, despite your often personnel. I think it could work in your favor, in fact. So I'm going to trust you to head
Stop the
this
compliment when it was
investigation.
good. All right, you cut it short. Keep
Okay.
it sweet. All right. Go do sneaky things, I guess. Have fun. Who's coming to the dungeon with me?
I don't want to go, but I feel like I should go.
I think we're all of
Because-
the opinion that we can't leave you alone on this.
What?
Yeah.
You know, I think
Again.
you're very trustworthy by yourself.
Thank you. One person trusts me to do things by myself. I
Nice,
lived
that's
this
good.
long without you guys. Just want to let you know. All right.
Mm-hmm.
A miracle.
Well,
We
not
know.
you, Felix. You don't count. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to hold the dagger threateningly, Felix? Would that make you feel better to threaten someone?
No.
I
No, I
find
don't
sugar works better than spice in this instance. How about we
Should we are we giving the guy sugar? Cinnamon's
Perhaps.
really good though. Have you considered
Perhaps.
sugar and cinnamon? A little bit of both.
a pastry might be in order? Yes.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Beyonce like stuffs the scone in his bag.
I'm just gonna come here to make sure that nothing gets too much out of hand. Again, he showed cooperation. He's still an enemy of the crown, yet he should be treated with respect.
Yeah, I don't think that happened the way you thought it happened, but okay.
I'm trying.
We're off to see a prisoner.
Nefer tries to put a hand on your shoulder, Felix, but you just get pat on the hip. Like, it's okay.
Thanks.
While you guys go and have fun with that, I think
I thought you were gonna come. Hang out with the guys. Come on.
I don't think it's my place to go into the dungeons.
It's
I would
wet,
also be
it's
nervous
dark.
as a newcomer to be going to the dungeons. I
I think
understand.
it's a great place for the newcomer to come. They're not gonna question you as much as they're gonna question me. All right, me, I'm suspicious. You, just hanging out.
I will vouch for your safety in the dungeons, Dyson.
I think I'm just
Listen,
gonna
all right,
go,
you gotta
like,
learn something, okay? The prince
Pray.
is like your buddy now. That's like almost immunity for most things. I've tested it.
Yeah, you did.
Do not copy Yancey's antics. You will not
I
Made
find
it this
similar
far.
results.
I am far from copying the antics of Yonsei.
Antics.
I-
Oh, now you're using the word too. Alright, one thing you
you
guys
have
gonna
a-
thank me. I'm gonna save you from peril or something. Right? It's gonna be my ass saving all you.
It looks like Yonsei is beginning to leave and head to the dungeons. Who is going with Yonsei? Sneferu,
Alvin.
Felix. Eluva has a separate plot to chase down. Is
Always
Dyson
plotting.
and Glynis interested in going with them? Or does Eluva...
I've
What do
been
you
waiting
call it?
long enough that my awkward subway dinner with Dad is over. Like, are they
Ooh, a
still
cookie.
debating this like an hour later?
I don't see why
I was
not.
kind of assumed if they were marching off to the dungeon, this would have happened before I
I
got
run
there.
into you in
but-
the hallway.
But you have to
know?
remember, we're high, Glynis.
Yeah.
So
I see.
everything takes longer.
I
The
And in
three
fact,
people
your
going into
meeting
the
took a
dungeon are
lot
still
less
high.
time. It just felt way longer.
Yeah. It felt like an hour, but it was literally like 10 minutes of talking.
Yeah.
The three
Sure.
people who took
I
mushrooms
think it's
are now
probably a
going
good
to the
idea to
dungeon.
keep an eye on Yonsei and on on Dizem, the brand new like black dragonborn that is wandering around the dungeon. Who knows? It's just probably a good idea to follow them.
I'm not going into the dungeon. It's not a clerical
Dizem's scared of
place.
the dark, as we all
You're
know.
I'm not going down
coming,
there.
Dyson. Let's go.
Dyson is the
together.
only member without dark vision. He doesn't want to go.
I'm a dragonborn.
4 eyes. He can see in the dark. Are you kidding me?
I didn't think Dragonborns had dark vision.
They don't.
Dyson,
no.
can you see in the dark? Settle it right now.
Everyone who isn't a human has dark vision. That's just how
That
D&D
is
works.
not the case.
Pretty
much
Dragonborn
the case.
do not have dark vision. Unless they updated that in Tasha's, in which case... Fuck.
I'm pretty sure they don't.
I am
No on the
99%
dark.
certain.
Can you not see in the dark, Dyson?
Well, I guess I don't have dark vision. I'm not going down there. I'm not going down to the dark, dank dungeon.
Hello? Come
I mean-
on, Dyson. Come on.
I
I'm gonna
don't
go
think
pray.
Dizem will go.
Right.
So,
I'm
my
gonna go
question
pray.
now is, Eluva, where do you head off to? And is Dizem allowed to follow? And if so, did you ambush Glynis as soon as he got out of his meeting with his father to drag him to help you?
So she has 2 stops to make depending on the time both in and out of character this takes. The first is to a blacksmith to maybe see what kind of techniques were used in the construction of the dagger. And the second is to our lovely spy master.
You want to go hunt down Uncle Gunner?
Yeah, Uncle Gunner is... I have words I need to share with him, but first I would like more answers on the dagger. And Dyson can come, sure. I might
Oh,
turn
boy.
away once we get to the spy master part, but if you want to come adventuring with me to a blacksmith, sure.
Good old blacksmith adventure.
And I think in this particular case, I will not take the initiative to involve the prince in my own schemes.
Okay. Then Glynis will be co-opted by the rest of his team to go down into the dungeons to
Okay.
interrogate a man.
So, just quickly, the 2 people who aren't high on mushrooms going to a blacksmith. The 4 people who are still high off mushrooms going into the dungeons to interrogate him.
Yes.
They
Not
have
They're
to
caught
have
up.
been coming
Very-
down by now, though, right? Right, guys?
If you roll a
I just
20
had an
Constitution check.
incredibly awkward
Yonsei rolled a
sandwich
20.
with my dad.
Oh,
That's
Yonsei rolled a 20,
sober
yeah.
anyone up.
It sure
Glenn
was.
is the sober.
You guys head your separate ways. We split the party. No big deal. We are going to hit the guys in the dungeon first because there is travel time involved with going to a blacksmith. And then, of course, travel time hunting down the elusive Uncle Gunner. But let us quickly go through Brimco so that maybe we can get both before the end of our session here. You guys head on down into the dungeons, the spooky dungeons, which I totally have mapped, but will not be wasting time dragging people on tokens to go down. You will find your prisoner kind of just hanging out in the dark. There's essentially no light until someone brings light, and this guy who's a human's like, oh! Whoa! Hey, guys! Acting incredibly casual despite being the only person in your father's dungeons, Glynis.
I would think Sneffer took a lamp or something, or a candle.
Hey, I brought you a scone.
Thanks.
Do you want it?
Yeah.
Okay. Give him the scone.
He takes the scone and eats it. Oh, wow, yep,
I feel
it's
like
a
I was supposed
scone.
to like bribe you with that or something, but it's a good scone, right? It's pretty good. It's got sugar. It's got cinnamon. What else do you want?
That's cinnamon? What's cinnamon?
Oh, about to open up your world, man.
Rimco, I'm sure you can imagine why we've come to see you today.
I really can't.
Yeah, I
We
don't think
have
he's smart
Some
enough to know
questions
that.
about your previous company and employer.
Oh, yeah, so did that old guy.
Oh
Mhm.
damn, what old guy?
I don't know.
Uncle Gun.
He didn't really... Oh, is that his name? He didn't give me a name.
Why for a reason? Dang. What did you give him answers?
Yeah, of course. Why wouldn't I?
So he knows who you work for.
Yeah,
Great. Could you tell us?
if you want.
Sure, go for it, man.
I
Give me the
need you to
deets.
ask me the question again, though.
Oh,
Who
do
did you work for?
What? You both talked at the same time.
All right, Sneffer, you go. I think you're more intimidating.
Little gnome goes up to the bars with his big pointy hat. Who were you working for?
Oh, there was this guy named Yob. I think it's spelled Y-O-B-E, like robe, but with a Y.
Yob. Perfect.
Yeah, Yob.
That's a good
Yob.
start.
Oh my god, what if it's another one of our cousins?
And how did you come to be working for Yob?
He asked me, hey, do you want to make some easy money? We're gonna go into the woods for a while. And then I said yes.
Do you go in the
because-
woods with guys often?
For money,
Oh.
probably.
Yeah, for money, sure.
Alright. Did you know
Um,
that you were gonna be involved in killing people?
I didn't get involved in killing people. No
But
people
you
were
saw other
killed
people
until
do it.
you
No
killed
one was
people.
killed? Interesting. What, you guys just hanging out in the woods for like a couple weeks?
I mean, we fought monsters and stuff, like goblins, and but those aren't people.
Fair
Before
point.
we successfully liberated you from your previous position, we did see someone barking orders. Was that the Yob fellow you mentioned?
Yeah.
Yob from? It's a weird name. Yob.
I don't know.
You never talking about like going home or like why he's hanging out in the woods alone with a bunch of dudes?
He wasn't so much that kind of leader.
Did he like yell at you a lot? Was he mean?
I wouldn't say yell, but he was pretty
Raising
big
his
into
voice?
discipline.
Oh, did he
And I
spank
was
you?
kind of like hired help, right? From you know, my
Did it
farm.
felt like some military
Yeah,
of
did he have, like,
discipline, you'd
military
say?
vibes. Did it seem like he had a lot of daddy issues?
I don't know. He didn't really
Don't
talk
know?
about his dad.
Well,
So,
you can kind
what-
of you just tell in the way they interact with other men around them. Like, were they really defensive? You know, or
His
they like
his guys were pretty defensive, yeah.
really macho man-y?
Yeah.
These guys.
They made us do push-ups every morning.
Yeah, daddy issues.
I mean, that's good. That's working
We
out.
get to opposite. Like, yeah, that's super
mean,
good for your
you got-
health, and also, like, yeah, that's all daddy issue.
You got the
issues.
fighter and the bard. That's about it.
So, on one of your late companions, we found this holy symbol. Do you recognize it?
Can you show me it?
Sure. And he pulls it out and he holds it up where the candle can illuminate it.
He
the little
stares.
sketch.
Oh my god, his eyes strain must be horrible. He went from like 3 days in a dark cell. Like,
I can describe it to you.
no, I can see it. Yeah, it's like a weird horseshoe thing, yeah?
Yeah, made out of steel.
It's made out of steel? Who would make a holy
Did you
symbol
see
out
that
of
on like
steel?
Yob's stuff at all? Was it like, does Yob? Do you have anything like that around him?
He might have. It wasn't like I was looking at his stuff all the time.
Did Job strike you as a religious man?
You know, he kind of had that bent to it, for sure. Bent to him. But he never, like, made us pray or anything, if that's what you're getting at.
Did he ever like go off alone or like with just like a few trusted people for long periods of time?
Yeah, he and his boys, you know. His goons.
You know, like what direction they went in? Like north, south?
What?
Like when they went off alone for long periods of time, what direction were they walking?
Any? No, I thought they were
They
just,
just
like,
hung out in
getting
the woods?
private. Do you not?
No? Do you?
I mean, yeah.
What do you do in the woods, man?
Just hang out. Get away from the wife, the kids.
You have a wife and kids?
Yeah. I have a
Oh
farm.
my god.
Which
They
is
probably
why
think
we're
you're
happy.
dead, man. Did you consider that?
What?
You've been gone for like weeks.
Yeah, but
You know how long it's been? You've
Yeah.
been down here for a long time, man.
It's been at least like 3 days, for sure.
It's been like 7.
Okay.
Don't you want to get out of here?
Starts crying a little bit. Yeah.
Then we need information, man. Like, we can't help you if you're not helping us.
Am I not giving you everything? I feel like I've been cooperative this entire time.
Insight check.
You have been, and we are very proud of you.
No,
but-
Yonsei's insight checking that claim. Has he been honest?
You don't get to claim insight check, okay?
What?
This isn't
Come
Critical
on.
Role, alright? Do you believe him or not, Yonsei?
No, that's why Yonsei asked the question.
Well, if you don't believe him, you don't believe him. Right?
What? What's the point of insight then?
My friend,
Let's
where
try
are
to
you
get
from?
like.
I'm from, do you know about the Thorpe known as... Oh, I need a name for this Thorpe. Gabadoon?
I am unfamiliar with it myself, but I am sure we have riders that can get there. What is the name of your family? Your wife and child?
My wife... God damn you, Greg. How dare you make me name NPCs on the fly?
Come on, John, tell us.
Do you have
What
a
are their
dog? What's the name of your dog?
The wife
My
of
dog's
Rimco's name
Bessie. My
is-
wife's name is, Ready, what's a new name, for my kid?
Barbara,
Set.
Edith, Emma, Laura,
Dingle boy.
Lauren.
Group.
Jones McBones is my son's name.
Fuck
Alright.
straight up.
Your name's Rimco
My
McBones?
friend,
It's a great
I
We
name.
will
don't have
do
last
what I
names.
can.
We're commoners.
I will do what I can to send a rider to your wife and child to make sure that they are well. I will see them taken care of.
Are you sure
What I need
you're
from
telling
you-
us everything?
What I need from you is merely this. Where is your camp gone to? Should your position have been compromised in some way, or you have a next target on your orders, where would I find your companions? Where would they move to?
He thinks for a little while. Because he really wants to be honest with you. Or he's concocting such a good lie that Yancey just won't ever accept, right? So, I don't know if you will take I don't know as an answer.
I don't.
But really, that's the truth, man. I was just hired help from a frickin' farm because they needed bodies to cut down trees and fight monsters. You know, low-stakes stuff.
So they
I
never told you, like,
understand,
if something happens to go this way or go to this place?
No, it's very much a follow the leader, and if you don't, you're getting ridden off the payroll kind of deal.
Where are
Very
you
good
from?
stuff.
Are you from the kingdom? Are you from just like
He's
the
from a
unincorporated?
Jord.
I'm
He's
from a
from
Thorpe.
Gabadoon.
Yeah, just
Thorpe
from
Gabagoon.
Gabadoon. You don't know the Thorpe of Gabadoon? It's a little bit
I
north
sent
of
you through
the
a wall,
Alfaros
man.
River.
I leave this man in his cell, and put in a good word for him. Right, I'm sure there's like the master whispers or something. Like, I think we can let this man go, for what it's worth. And I order a writer to like check on Gabadoop and find Ready Whip and John Bones Jones,
Jones and
and make sure that they're well taken care of.
I hate
I
that.
did
think
have-
this man is just a victim of circumstance.
I did have
Honestly, like
one last
before
question for
she leaves, is
Rimco.
like,
Rimco, the coin that you were paid with, did you recognize where it came from?
great question.
He nat 20s it as he thinks back, having all of his money been essentially held by the guy.
I think a bad deal.
I didn't recognize the words because I can't read. I'm illiterate like 99% of everyone. But I saw the hammer that imprinted on it. So it's from a country whose coins are stamped with a big old gavel or mallet or maul or something.
Minted coin, hammer struck. Understood.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm sorry I can't be
etching
more
on it
help,
is a
guys,
hammer.
but really, I'm not in it to win it here. I just kind of want to go home.
Wait, you said it's etched by a hammer, or that the hammer
No, there
was
is
the
a
etching?
hammer stamped on it.
Okay,
Yeah.
very specific. The stamp on it
You've
is a
been
hammer.
very helpful,
Also, it's
Rimco.
hammered in.
And
Hammer.
I will leave the candle outside of his reach, but that way he'll have light for a while.
Oh, yes. Now I can roleplay a moth, he says, as we jump and Dizem, who are at a blacksmith. We are going to go fast because we only have 10 minutes here. So, Luva, what information are you trying to find that this blacksmith can give you?
Roughly how old do we think this dagger was made? And judging by its building technique, design techniques, and maybe the metal, if that's all indicative, where could have this dagger been constructed, and where was it likely constructed?
He will tell you with his experience as a blacksmith that anyone with access to a blacksmith forge could make something like this, for it is an iron dagger. The style looks cool, for sure, but it is, if he put extra effort into it, like he could replicate this dagger right here, for instance. What was the first part of your question again? I'm
How
sorry.
old is it, roughly?
How old is it? It could be...
Yeah, wear and
if it's
tear and
well
stuff.
taken care of, it could be up to 10 years. As he unwires the hilt, which sees the least amount of use. Or rather, the least amount of maintenance, because taking a fucking wired hilt off is like the who would go through the trouble when you're mostly stabbing people with it. If it's decorative, which he assumes it is, since it doesn't seem bloody or anything like that, he'd guess it was made in the past year. Yeah. The metal tang, which connects to the pommel, is kind of just... It's not too dirty. It's not rusted yet, which he would expect if it was more than a few months. Or not months, over a year old.
All things considered, it's very new. Not extremely, but very.
Yeah.
Okay.
You will then find Uncle Gunnar somewhere in the castle, who will be quite livid with you because you did not come to speak with him after he gave you the evil eye. And instead you went to a fucking blacksmith. What happened to the greater good, he states in anger. And who's this guy? He just gestures to Dizem. Like, you're an entirely unknown man. They're letting walk around the castle. Who are you supposed to be?
Yeah, I didn't really want to leave him alone, and he didn't want to go to the dungeon, so I brought him with.
No one wants to go to the dungeons. They're called the dungeons. If people want to go to the dungeons, there's something wrong with them.
That's what I was saying.
Alright. What do you want?
Right, so the reason I went to the blacksmith first was just to clear things up, and they put the dagger on the table.
Did you show him the dagger during the court thing? Or did you just
Nope.
give him the
Nope.
Huh. Somewhat annoyed. Well, that's an angle that I haven't been able to investigate at all.
Which is why I investigated it.
Oh yeah? What'd you find out?
The dagger was newly constructed. So, and let's see, the hilt features a bullet. We believe it, which does point perhaps bluntly to Njord, but I believe that may have been almost the intention.
He takes a look at the dagger. He looks at the pommel that has been so clearly stamped with like a boulet. Is there anything else you guys have been hiding from me?
Have we told you about the religious symbol?
He starts screaming. Just in anger. I don't think so, no.
Okay, I don't have that on me. I didn't find that one, so that's not on me.
Who has it?
It's man. Little man.
Great.
One of the ones in the dungeon right now.
I see.
Not a prisoner.
Dizem doesn't know my name.
Dyson doesn't know your name, does he?
I've been introduced like 3 people formally.
I understand. Internalizes a lot of things right in that moment. Okay. God damn it. Alright. I will now look into this knife. I will... When I see the symbol, if you're... The small man, the gnome, doesn't keep it for himself, I will also inspect that. There's so much going on. Okay. He gestures to you, Eluva, and then to Dizem. I don't know who you are, and this is technically classified information, so I don't know if you should even be in this room right now. And then he gestures to Eluva. Do you trust this Dragonborn?
Sort of looks them.
If he betrays your trust, will you kill this Dragonborn?
Oh, yes,
No.
absolutely.
Okay. There's a party coming. A Njord diplomat, delegate, crown prince, princess, I don't know who they are exactly, because I haven't had time to research them too, is coming over here for our end of winter celebration. They don't know who you are. They better know who I am, because by now I'm famous for being infamous. Alright? If you think there is a Niord angle for this entire endeavor, I want you to approach them, speak with them, see what they know, without giving away the fact that we are suspecting them of infringing on our territory and hiring dumbfuck McGee from the independent settlements outside of our territory to deforest our areas illegally. Okay? Don't let them in on that knowledge. But I need someone I can trust. Someone who is trustworthy. Under the light of the moon, in fact, trustworthy. To conduct this investigation. Because Livistio is the only place currently stable enough to house our people.
Of course.
Okay. Also, what the fuck did the prince eat? Because he was both shivering and sweating at the same time. And there's we can
I do not know. By the time I figured out this was happening, Yonsei had already brewed it into a tea.
I didn't drink the tea.
He nods. We're gonna
Everyone
punish
else
Yonsei,
drank the tea.
and I don't know how, but we're going to make them super sick. It stains menacingly. How dare they?
I can brew things.
Yes. We will co-opt you and make you complicit. That way you share the guilt of the crime. Uncle
I already
Gunner
have so much
stands
guilt.
up, claps his hands. I'll see you guys next week, he states, as we end our session here. Thank you all so much for joining us. If anyone has any shout-outs they'd like to do, go ahead. Otherwise, I'm going to give you guys some roleplay experience. If you guys would like that. If not, you can hold
Is this
back.
getting high experience?
The getting high experience, for sure.
It was certainly an experience.
They build up a small
was.
resistance to this exact mushroom. Those are real questions.
Or an addiction.
Microdosing's not a thing, right? We're not gaining nothing.
Shout out to the hat. Big shout out to the hat.
Why the hat?
Sniffer's hat.
Okay. Big shout out. God, I do forget how nice it looks in the little profile picture I got for you. Anyone else?
I was glad to be a part of a very heartfelt conversation that I did not need to be at all nearby to hear any of that. I was just kind of standing there. I didn't really feel like I belonged in that area at that time. A lot of weird emotions were being transmuted.
Well,
And-
you know,
My life
we'll
just
get
right.
you out of
the
observer
adventure.
status soon, I'm sure. Well, we need
Could have
to
came down the
find-
dungeons with us.
I feel like I gained more political trustworthiness by not going into those dungeons.
Probably.
You're just staring. God.
Oh man, I love that. That was great.
Okay.
I also like how we completely gleaned over the fact that last session ended up with, oh yeah, my goddess is the mother.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Not important.
yeah.
Yeah.
Not
Getting
important.
high was way more important.
Yep.
I'll shout out to no more trusting Yonsei with the trust building exercises.
Oh, yeah?
But now we
Maybe-
trust each other more, don't we? Didn't it work?
No!
I had the opposite
You
effect.
guys have formed a coalition of not trusting Yonsei, and that has built trust between you guys.
I think people trust Eleva more, which is a weird side effect.
I trust Eleva a lot.
We know.
I'm so trustworthy. I
Yeah.
don't get why people are so suspicious of me.
I don't get why we trusted Yonsei to begin with trust building exercises.
Yonsei's
It
a
was a
bard. You're gonna
questionable
trust
choice.
Yonsei again. Everything sounds like a great idea when Yonsei says it.
So,
You guys went down the dungeon with him.
any
Listen
last shout outs so I can reward you XP and we can wrap up?
Let's wrap it up.
Okay. then everyone, you can take home 75 roleplay experience. That is what my arbitrary mathematics have come out to.
It's math later because I can't right now.
Did anybody level up from that?
I think so.
Nope.
No.
God, Yonsei, I know you're close to level 3. What are you at?
I'm. Hang on.
You're at 900.
I'm halfway
yet?
level 4.
I'm 50. Yeah, I'm 50.
You're 50
away.
shy? Ugh.
Yeah,
Well, next week you'll definitely hit it then.
exactly.
I'm gonna kill so many people.
Indeed. Next week we will have more investigations, more plotting for the build-up, and then hopefully we will get started on the festival itself, the festivities. I know we had to skip some things of a timeline that we wanted to do, but the fun thing about choosing our own pace for adventures is we get to choose them. And if some things get hand-waved, we just do them a little bit later, no big deal. Yeah, when are you moving not this weekend, but next weekend?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Then we will just have Yonsei get a stomach bug or get food poisoning that weekend as revenge from Uncle Gunner.
Am I gonna miss the party?
I hope not. Well,
It would be
you'll
really
have your
funny if
internet set
Yonsei
up.
missed the party, though.
That would be real sad.
It'd be really
Okay.
brutal. But it would
Then
be really
everyone,
funny.
farewell. Take care. I hope you all have a lovely week, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Au revoir.